Ladies and gentlemen, it is really very, very proud and pleasant moment for all of us. So today is a World Kidney Day, as I stand today right now, the 12th March 2026. Across the globe, more than 239 countries together is celebrating World Kidney Day. This is a mission by the National Kidney Foundations, and we are also part of that. So this World Kidney Day, when we celebrate, we have some mission, some vision, some purpose. We all have to know that kidney disease has become such a prevalent problem across the globe, not only in our country. We have to not healthcare professionals. Really amazing, unimaginable. When we were a student, we are told that across the globe, out of every 20%, 1% is suffering from kidney problem. And today, as I stand now, it is said that in our country, out of every 6 people, 1% probably having some form of kidney disease. So I don't know, in this room, if there is a 200, 300 people are sitting, 1/6 of them might have some form of kidney disease. The problem is, kidney disease does not necessarily mean somebody suffering from anemia, hypertension, dialysis. It's not like that. It's a big spectrum starting with asymptomatic phase. Over a period of 5, 10, 15, 20 years, slowly progress to the minimal symptomatic stage, then leads to the advanced stage, which the life becomes very threatening. And we have to intervene in the early stage. When it is advanced, we can't do anything. So the purpose of this World Kidney Day celebration, or this World Kidney Day globally, is how we can make people aware regarding the silent nature of the disease, how we can make the disease diagnosed early, how we can take some necessary steps so that we can protect our community from the disease. What are the newer sciences and the newer, scientific development, newer technologies, everything are coming forward to keeping everything conglomerated in this space, this World Kidney Day celebrated. But ladies and gentlemen, for us, the kidney day is not only one day. Every moment we live with a kidney problem. So this is a token celebration, but we are celebrating kidney disease, prevention of kidney disease, mission for kidney disease day in, day out. With this brief note, today we have some specific agenda. I'm really honored and really proud that a lot of dignitaries today sitting in the front line, Professor DILIP, the Director of National Institute of Technology, Silchar, with whom we are the collaborators. We are developing a lot of innovative work. AI-involved dialysis machine is the one project we are doing. We are developing some of the very, very beautiful work. Organ on chip, some of the project we did with the Professor KOUSHIK, Professor KOUSHIK, who is also with us. Professor DILIP, he has a very illustrious career, having a civil engineering from Shibpur BE College. Then he served as a professor from the IIT Kharagpur, and he had a lot of administrative posts and serving for more than 40 years of a wide, vast experience. Such a luminous character, such a luminary is present today. We'll talk about the integration of the technology in the field of nephrology, and we are collaborating in some of this. Please give a big hand for Professor DILIP. Along with us, we have Professor Shadon Chandra, the ex-sheriff and the pioneer of the cardiothoracic surgery of the city. Sad is like our grandfather. Every aspect, every field of medicine, every steps we take opinion of sir. Be a keep hand for the sir. Today with us we have Professor KOUSHIK GUHA, and Professor KOUSHIK GUHA is one of the most rising star in the field of engineering. He's from the NIT Silchar. I know his scientific acumen, the research intent, the work he's doing, and I had the good luck and opportunity to collaborate some of the research work with Professor GUHA, and in the kidney on chip, organ on chip projects we worked, and also we work in the bioartificial kidneys. Professor GUHA will speak something about us in today. And in the front line, to my left, there are the peoples who are the epitome of health. Those are the people from the sports science. I have a Dipendu with us, the famous footballer, Mr. Prashant Chakraborty, the famous footballer who was once upon a time running the field, and along with us we have Mr. Baldo, who was a famous swimmer who crossed the English Channel, and all of them I'll request to come on the stage just for felicitation on behalf of the Kidney Care Society. Sir, please come on the stage once.
রেকর্ডিং যেন বন্ধ না হয়। So we have the opportunity to inaugurate the unique NephroCare app today. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a history why we are designing this NephroCare app. So just to give a context, the thousands of the patients who are suffering from chronic kidney disease, who needs continuous care, who needs continuous monitoring of their blood pressure report, blood sugar report, intake, output, everything, and need to be communicated with the medical team, it often becomes very difficult without a system-driven process. So our IT team has developed this NephroCare app, NCIL app, which is one of the very unique apps. And through this app, a person would be connected to the care team 24/7. The purpose of this app is, this app will track the blood pressure. The app has a facility for integrating continuous glucose monitoring for the diabetics. Anybody can input his intake output charts, his blood reports, and everything will be connected to the entire NephroCare system. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to say, my wife, Dr. Suthapasan, is right now present. I'll request Ma'am Parvati to come on the stage, please. I've not seen you earlier, sorry. Okay, so this app will have the facility to monitoring every patient, all the medical data, lab reports, and the trajectory. And this World Kidney Day, I take the opportunity in presence of the director of NIT Shilchers and the KOUSHIK, all the technocrats, and with the medical people, let's open this NephroCare app, which is going to change the horizon of the patient care with suffering kidneys. Give me a big hand, please, and I'll request sir to please open it. ভাই বসে যাবে, ভাই বসে যাবে।
Wow. And a key person.
Code and directly go to the app and see all the features. You need to put in your telephone number only, you will get an OTP and you will be into the app, and this app has a facility to tracking everything. Ladies and gentlemen, this app is not simply the medical monitoring app, it also gives a lot of advantage in terms of other services. For example, you can book your medicine, you can book your lab test, you can book your appointment, everything can be done through this app. So I believe this app is going to change the trajectory of kidney care in the coming days. So thank you very much. And right now it is a time to call our chief guest, Professor DILIP, to come on the stage and speak something and give some good blessings to us, so that this our vision for preventing kidney disease and integrating technology with the upcoming days when the medicine and technology is working together. I want to listen from you, sir.
Good afternoon to all present here. I am actually, since from technical side, I am somewhat mismatched. Only relevance actually nowadays, every branch of activities is having some of other technical intervention, and medical science is not the exception. And particularly some of my colleagues, those who are handling electronics, computer science, instrumentation, they are very, very well connected to this medical science. Being I am a civil engineer, I am little disconnect, but and sometimes engineers versus doctor, when we have no comparison, who is superior and who is not, many times there will be counter argument, and sometimes engineer proves they are superior, and then doctors also give a point that can you do any repair work in a living condition, in a running condition, for example a vehicles or a machines or a AC or anything, any equipment. So they are actually, the doctors are superior because they have to repair the system in a living condition. That is the superiority. Actually, you cannot do that, because when you have seen that there is mechanical shop, near mechanical shops, there will be different parts. Then they will be winding these and spreading here and there, and then finally they will assemble. That is the way they do. But doctors that do not have that chance, that opportunity. They have to keep the system running, and they have to do this. And if you talk about that civil engineering, initially I told that the high-tech engineering department are very closely related. Civil engineering may not be that connected. But one way actually, civil engineer play close to doctors. Why it is so? You can see the buildings, people are living, but you can repair it. Road is open, but still you repair it. And when it is a running condition, this type of work, when you do separately, the quality will be different than a running condition. Quality little different, because for everything we need to follow certain standard, but when you keep the traffic open and do the work, some standard you have to sacrifice. So as a result, longevity and all will be affected, and people will be telling always no that civil engineers always siphon money because of this quality. That part is there, but there is another part actually. When you do in a running condition, quality maintaining is little difficult. So that way actually I can say that civil engineering is quite close to doctors' life nowadays. No, not only I am giving very simple example, but there are some example nowadays. Building sometimes is going underwater, and then what we do, we can elevate. Now the technology is there, we can lift it, even we can shift it also. So like that, there are many ways actually we can do in a running condition. And then when you talk about human body and normal which is handled by doctors, and the human body and whatever industrial things or machines or anything which is handled by engineers, there are a lot of difference. For example, you can say that if you buy one AC, which will be contributed by electronics engineer, electrical engineer, partly mechanical engineer, but when you buy it, then you will get a manual. If anything goes wrong, we can do something, so you will have manual. Similarly, if you buy vehicles or four-wheelers, for example, there also contribution of electronics, mechanical engineer, electrical, everything is there. Again, you will get a manual. But when a child born, and we have to take care, and he has to survive maybe 60, 70 or even more years without any manual. So actually, when actually doctor, professor, etc. was not there, that time actually naturally they used to manage and they used to survive. But with complexity, people are dying and then started how to survive. And as a result, no, these are all medical profession. Obviously, definitely you know better than how based on observation, because you don't know actually exactly perfect, you don't know. You only observe, and based on that you list certain things. If this happens, you have to do this. If this happens, you have to do this. So like that. So there is there may be nowadays some ultimate solution. Otherwise, doctors finally prepare the manual. That right from beginning for any appliances you get manual. Now doctors actually may not be fit to him, but there is a general manual. So you have to, if it goes wrong something, then how to manage it. So that is the way the challenge to the doctors, and they are doing. And next part actually, even though in the medical science everything is now technology. And two professions right from beginning like is separate. We always talk doctor, we always talk engineer, and they are like separate two professions. But if you see that there are a lot of technological interventions are there, and earlier doctors, when my childhood, if you fall sick, then at home they used to tell, for fever, you just take rest for 3 days, and slowly fever used to go. If it is a stomach upset, people used to stop eating for 1 day, you get recovered. But nowadays actually, a lot of things are available. We should not allow people to suffer. So doctors always try to do that. So as a result, when that patient comes to doctor, always doctors advise some test. And this test, the public opinion about the test. What public opinion about the various tests? People used to say, to make money, doctors are necessarily advise this very test. And I was also almost like a general public. I also had similar opinion, and once at home I told this word that this unnecessary test is necessary, not necessary. Our test, there is no test, still we used to get ready. And my daughter actually was just going to be a doctor, and then immediately she said, remember, one doctor is in our home now. Okay. Then she has told me that, as I have mentioned, that we have certain observation, and based on that we have some prescription, but we do not know exact 100% cure is possible or not. So she has given immediately as example that fear can be because of many things. So doctors mainly first suspect weather condition and some other condition. Based on that, they assume this may be the reason. They will give that medicine, and they will ask, if suppose you don't go for a test, they will ask, how are you? Come and report after 3 days. Then if you are not recovered, then again you will change the medicine. So in this process, suffering will be there. No, if it is not, my first guess is it does not work, then automatically patient has to suffer. So as a result, that my daughter was telling that if you have opportunity to know the root cause right at the beginning, why you should not do it? So that from that onwards, my mind also, I am not now general public, now I have some little learned person like, I cannot make comment like this. So this is the difference. Even though one actually army lady, she is VC of that army college, Kanitkar, she is very famous. She came and one lecture also gave. She is also, because she is old, she was also talking about that nowadays doctors prescribe too many tests, etc., not necessary, etc. So I wanted to interact with her, but somehow it has not happened. But still mentality has not changed. A lot of people think, but at the same time, know that there may be some commercial party, some people may be doing, but not necessarily this is always they are doing intentionally. This is actually purpose to know the cause at the beginning. Next part is actually, even across engineering also we are doing a lot of collaboration. And slowly engineering and medical, this collaboration is happening across globe since long. And there are abroad, many universities also, there is a medical school inside, a part of it. But in India so far did not happen. And in fact, in IIT Kharagpur started sometime around 2000, that School of Medical Science and Technology in the MTech program, where civil engineering student, medical student, all are the students. And even civil engineering professor also teaching, doctors also teaching, mechanical, electronic, everybody was teaching. So that was growing on in some smaller way, and we used to do a lot of research out of it, and we could not still enter in the full way, the way different countries abroad they have medical school along with the engineering school. So with lot of deliberation, sometime also it is decided that IIT Kharagpur also will give MBBS degree. So that preparation also started. Engineering building, medical building also, everything is started, completed. But somehow, I do not know, the medical council still could not approve. There are 20 faculty still recruited. They are doing research only. They are not able to do any with patient and this type of, without patient research cannot be successful for the doctors. So they are idle, but that has not been done yet. So this is one part of story. So I think the medical council also maybe their stubbornness, maybe it has to be a little relaxed, and they have to come a little better way so that we can grow better together. That is one thing. And otherwise, every engineering department, some way or other, they are doing some sort of work which is connected to medical application. An example is that our and not only one example, Professor KOUSHIK GUHA is doing with Professor Sengupta, Dr. Sengupta, one part is doing. There are some more faculty also doing some other area, image processing and other. So like that it can be done, a lot of things can be done. So I am actually expecting in future we'll have much more collaboration and I can grow much better for the society. And perhaps I, as an engineer, in front of so many doctors, I talk enough. I should close here. And only thing, wish you all healthy and life. And on the occasion of the World Kidney Day, thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful, insightful, and very meaningful deliberation. Obviously, the points which are well taken. The collaboration of medicine and collaboration of engineering world is extremely required. Indeed, we are engineers. We are engineers of the human body, and you were rightly pointed that we have no opportunity to stop the machine and repair it. We have to work in a functioning machine without a manual. That's the most important message we should carry, that human body is a body gifted by the nature, and nobody knows exact manual of this human body. It is such a complex, most sophisticated machine in this world, and we doctors are the engineer of that. And among all the machines or sub-parts of the machine which we carry inside our body, kidney is a very important one. And ladies and gentlemen, we nephrologists deal with that complex filtration unit, which is not simply a dead filtration machine. It has a living intelligence of doing much more, which science is still researching, and our knowledge is evolving, and we're doing a lot more. We didn't know a few days back that kidney is important for sleep. We didn't know that kidney is one of the most immunoregulator organ. It controls our blood pressure, it controls our blood sugar, we do not know. So many things are coming, and henceforth, today's I have some talk regarding how to control creatinine. It will be addressing to the common people, but even though we'll touch some of the science. So before we go to the next scientific deliberation, today I had opportunity to call Professor KOUSHIK GUHA on the stage to talk something about the work we are doing, something about the kidney on chip project which you already did, and also some of the artificial hemodialysis machine AI enabled which we are doing at the DST project. With that, Professor GUHA, please.
Yeah, thank you. Very good afternoon to all of you. Professor Sengupta, Professor DILIP Director NIT Silchar and Chief Guest of today's function, and all the dignitaries sitting over there. So really it is an honor and privilege for me to be invited here in this stage and to speak few words about the collaboration between medical fraternity and the engineering fraternity. So at the outset, my warm greetings on the behalf of NIT Silchar and on personal behalf to all of you. Wish you a very healthy kidney and the health throughout the year. So though that our directors have already pointed out, because it is the gathering of eminent doctors, nephrologists, so the presence of engineers and the academicians, professors are like an odd man out. But it was thought around 10 years or 20 years back. But nowadays, actually the gap between this medical fraternity and the engineering technology is closing and closing so rapidly. And even at this time, there is no actually gap, because everything has merged together and everybody is aspiring to solve the complex challenges and problems of the health. So that is the prime actually motive. So we are also I am also very fortunate to work with Dr. Sengupta as a doctor, as an eminent nephrologist, and as well as the same time is passionate about the researcher. So all the time we used to talk about Dr. Sengupta is giving some problem, this thing, that can happen. And we, okay, so that is the job of the engineers, like that. And we are taking up the problem and we try to solve the problem. So the relation actually between with the Dr. Sengupta is not new. So I think it dates back to 2017-18. when I have invited Dr. Sengupta in NIT Silchar in some workshop. So from there the starting point and the collaboration has started. So we have been actually doing lot of things together. Before that, I would like to thank our director sir. He's so encouraging and giving always all the time the encouragement to do some good research, to make some collaborations with different institutes, IITs, different medical institutes also, different doctors, nationally and internationally. And under his leadership, the NIT Silchar is growing so faster. And also, we have signed one MOU under the leadership of Professor DILIP with NephroCare. So just give a big round of applause that NIT Silchar has signed MOU with NephroCare India. And now just I want to highlight some of the research that we are actually doing together. It was amazing research. So we are doing actually working towards a project on kidney on chip, actually KOUSHIK, because I am actually avid researcher in the microsystem technology, MEMS and VLSI microelectronics sensor design like that. I have not done any work for the medical field application, but when I met with Dr. Sengupta, then I got some motivation. And then actually we have used to work on the kidney on chip. So my two PhD scholars have already been awarded PhD on this topic. So we have been trying to mimic the human kidney using the MEMS and microfluidics on a platform in the engineering domain. So because kidney is the one of the most complex functions, organs in our human, so it is very difficult and challenging to mimic the functions of the kidney. The kidney does actually plays a pivotal role in a lot of things, not only the acid-base balance and ultrafiltration is one of them, but apart from that there are so many other functions the kidney actually does. So we are trying to mimic some of the functions using engineering technology. And we have made one simulation model so far. We are trying to make a hardware model of the device where we are able to mimic the kidney reabsorption function and ultrafiltration function using the some MEMS and microfluidics. So microfluidics is one of the branch of mechanical engineering, and MEMS is a micro-electromechanical system. So it generally deals with a very small miniaturized device where mechanical, electronics, electrical instrumentation, all science of engineering branch can come and play together. So with the help of Dr. Sengupta, with his advice actually, we are doing like that, and we have published a good number of papers. But our aim is not to publish only the paper. We are filing patent also. Recently I have filed one patent also with Dr. Sengupta in the Indian patent. But ultimately our objective is to make a device. Another project that we are working, that is funded by Department of Biotechnology, DBT, Government of India, where we are working towards the development of proximal convoluted tubule of the kidney, the PCT, distal convoluted tubule, PCT, glomerulus. So we are trying to make that using the engineering technology. So that is funded by the DBT, and our NephroCare is already a partner, and Dr. Sengupta is there in the team. So we have close discussions. Time to time I visit NephroCare, and also by phone also we are doing together. Then another interesting project that we are currently doing, that we are trying to make a portable hemodialysis machine that will be remotely controlled and and remotely monitored by the nephrologist sitting in the home or in hospital. And it is in indigenous method, very low cost. So really it is a very challenging task. Because the dialysis machine, you know that I think you must, you know well that what are the ingredients are there in the dialysis machine, mechanical part, electronics part, computer science part, instrumentation part. So we have a very good student team. We are closely working together. We are developing, we are trying to develop this machine, and it is a fascinating project, and really everybody is playing and working very hard with their passion. Another work that we have been growing towards of Indo-Russia proposal. So we have a close collaboration with Russia also. I have professor from the Russian university. One day he sent a mail to me that he has found my paper in the Google and he is very interested to collaborate with us, with my team. Then I have talked to Dr. Sengupta, then Sir has also agreed, and then after that also we are working together. We made a team and we have submitted a proposal in Indo-Russia, one call of the BST. Then also nowadays, just recently I am also approaching to Germany. So there is one German professor, he is also interested to collaborate, and recently just 2 days back we have held one meeting. That here also we are trying to work together in German university, University of Berlin, Technical University of Munich in Germany. These are very, very reputed universities, and the professor is working in that field. So we are collaborating with them and want to make some meaningful contribution for the societal application, for the medical application, where NephroCare and United Silcher will also join together. So these are the actually research projects currently we are taking up, and in future I hope that we will do lot more with the guidance of our director sir and encouragement of our director, and also with the guidance of Professor Sengupta and the whole NephroCare team. And really it is a very pleased and glad pride matter that United Silcher is working very closely with the NephroCare. So we are also trying to expand the horizon. Not only I am from electronics department, electronics and communication engineering. I hope that NephroCare will collaborate not only in electronics, in instrumentation, mechanical, electrical, everybody. Now in the day by day will expand the horizon of the collaboration, and we will do something more, something novel, impactful for our societal benefit. So now this gap between medical fraternity and engineering fraternity has been almost zero. Now the stethoscope actually is meeting with the microchip, then the medical innovation happens. So the stethoscope now is actually will meet the microchip. So we are creating the microchip and the stethoscope is already there in the doctor. So if these two things are coming together, then we can make a beautiful and innovative thing for the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, KOUSHIK, Professor GUHA. I think, ladies and gentlemen, the work what we are doing are really, really exciting, futuristic, and ultimately will benefit to the humanities. I strongly believe the passion NIT Silcher is working with us, with the blessings of Director Sir, Professor GUHA, then Professor Poti, and also Partho Pakre, all are working together. And the organ on chip, let me give you some brief to what the work we are doing exactly. When you develop medicine, the medical testing, it takes 20 years to understand the toxicity on the kidney, toxicity on the liver. This organ on chip, if you developed, you can do it in 2 hours. We can preliminarily screen that this drug is not good for human body and this drug is good. In this way, this is the mission for which we are working. And also the dialysis will revolutionize the dialysis machine, the project on which we are working. It will revolutionize the dialysis care across the globe. We believe it is possible to get hemodialysis done at home and no patient need to move
to the hospital for the dialysis. That is the mission, and the problem has been solving by together. Medical side we are looking after, and the technical part is developing a collaborative approach. And DST is funding this program. Ladies and gentlemen, from engineering now come to the real life medicine. I can see a lot of people sitting behind. They are eager to learn from me regarding how to protect our kidney health. Obviously, World Kidney Day cannot be celebrated or cannot be completed without having discussion how to protect our kidney, how we can keep our kidney healthy. And unfortunately, those have chronic kidney disease, how we can take some necessary steps, simple, meaningful, important, to keep their kidney healthy. So with that mission, before I move to the mission, in between there is our most renowned and most wise man sitting in the front desk, Professor Stadel Chandurai. Before I start my talk on how to protect kidney, control creatinine, delay dialysis, the main theme of today's session, I'll ask sir to come on the stage and speak some few words before I start.
Dr. Sengupta has brought me in front of all of you. Thank you all for this opportunity. Maybe this will be my last opportunity to talk before others. I am not fully prepared. And I met Dr. Sengupta sometimes, and we started working together. And we are still working together for only small part of the whole field of nephrology is to make a channel for the patient's hemodialysis. And in my old days, when I was student, there is no different ward or any division where kidney diseases used to be treated separately. I came to learn long after that, because I passed in 1961 in medical college. Then I found that it is one of the biggest field, and kidney disease is so common. It is not only a poor man's disease or a very rich man's disease. All grades of patients are suffering from kidney diseases. I thank Dr. Sengupta for doing various type of research, and he is always after something new, trying to develop, and he has the ability to make it a real different, I mean, in Kolkata at least. And he has done a lot of work, and I wish that he will continue to do like this. I mean, I have seen very few doctors in Kolkata who is at the moment is doing such a big research and things like that. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Sengupta.
Ladies and gentlemen, before going to the main topic, so this is a time to announce the inauguration of the 3 beautiful programs where wellness and health is connected.
And who other than the great footballer Prashant Chakraborty, great footballer Dipen Sharma, and also the great swimmer Mr. Madhav can help us or inaugurate that thing. So we have 3 interesting programs which we are going to launch today in this World Kidney Day. The benefit will pass on to each and every civilians of this country. These are some kind of integration of modern medicine along with the ancient yogic science and the nutrition and wellness component to keep persons well. The biggest challenge in this country is diabetes, obesity, and obviously, as I said, 1 in 6 people suffering from chronic kidney disease. To address these 3 problems together, we have designed 3 beautiful programs. One is RenoGuard, another one is Divert, another one is Edition 360. Along with me, Mr. Subhabrata Bhattacharya. I'll call upon Subhabrata on stage. Subhabrata, where are you? Because together we work together to design this program. I'll request Mr. Subhabrata Bhattacharya to come on the stage along with me, and please, Mr. Prashant Chakraborty, Dipendra, and then Amrita, please come on the stage to inaugurate this 3 beautiful program which we are going to inaugurate today. Give a big hands, please, for all the epitomes of health, those who are carrying the sign of fitness and sportness to help the people from these chronic diseases like diabetes, obesity, and on the kidney health. Diet 360 is a program in which we can take a 360 care of the diabetes patients. Now is the turn to reveal the RenoGuard. RenoGuard is another beautiful program where we can have a 360 care for the renal failure, and this is the turn for the Reshape 360 where we can monitor the obesity. These programs are designed in such a combined way where wellness and the medicine has come together, and this can keep its tremendous benefit to the person who is suffering from diabetes, person who is suffering from obesity, and the person who is suffering from chronic kidney disease. Subhabrata, please come on the stage. And this program was designed in collaboration with Subhabrata Bhattacharya, the director of MITRA Wellness and Health Club, and me together. Subhabrata designed the wellness component, we designed the medical and diagnostic component, and together these are the 3 months program which can correct obesity, which can correct diabetes and reverse the diabetes, and also it can give a tremendous health boon for the people who are suffering from chronic kidney disease. So please give a big hand. I can see that all everyone is sitting around. I don't know why. This is such a beautiful program we are launching today, and I hope each of you who are sitting here, please take the benefit of this program. Thank you very much, Prashant. Take it. So I'll invite Mr. Prashant Chakraborty to have few words.
Namaskar. On behalf of all players, যারা আছে দীপেন্দ্র বিশ্বাস renowned footballer, ভারতবর্ষে খেলেছে, কলকাতায় প্রচুর গোল করেছে, সামনে রবিন আছে, ও এখন সম্প্রতি ইংলিশ চ্যানেল পার হয়েছে, আর আমিও দেশের হয়ে খেলেছি, ইসবর্মান খেলেছি, সবটাই হচ্ছে আপনাদের আশীর্বাদ, ভালোবাসা। দেখুন, একটা জিনিস পাশ থেকে চলে যায় প্রতিদিনটা খালি আমি দাদা বলি, মানুষটার মধ্যে একটা সবসময় ক্রিয়েটিভিটি করার চেষ্টা। দেখুন, ডাক্তার তো অনেক হয়, অনেকে আছে প্রফেশনালি, তারা ডাক্তার থাকে, কেউ ক্রীড়া সাংবাদিক থাকে, কেউ খেলোয়াড় থাকে, কেউ সঙ্গীত শিল্পী থাকে, কিন্তু ডাক্তারের যে ডাক্তারের পরেও যে সমাজের প্রতি তার দায়বদ্ধতা, সেটা তাকে মানুষ হিসেবে চেনায়, সেই কাজটা কিন্তু প্রতিমদা করেন, প্রতিম সেনগুপ্ত করেন। তো ওনার সম্মান এবং ওনার কি বলবো, ওনার ভালোবাসার প্রতি আপনারা সবাই মিলে একটু করতালি দিয়ে প্রতিমদাকে ইন্সপায়ার করুন। এবং আপনারা জানেন যে কিডনির জন্য কিডনি কতটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট শরীরে, আমরা খেলোয়াড় জানি। আমি যখন আমারটা বলতে হচ্ছে নিজেকে, আমি যখন ইংল্যান্ডে ছিলাম 3 বছর, আমার পা ভেঙে যাওয়ার পর ইংল্যান্ড থেকে কোচিং কোর্স করে আসি। তো তখন উইকেন্ডের ঠিক মানে শুক্রবার দিন আমাদের একটা সেশনই থাকতো শুধু খেলোয়াড়দের সাথে ডাক্তারদের একটা কনভারসেশন, কোচেদেরকে ট্রেনিং করানো হতো যে ফার্স্ট রিকভারি কিভাবে হবে, ট্রিটমেন্ট করার পর খেলোয়াড়দের কিভাবে ডায়েটটাকে মানে কমপ্লিটলি কিভাবে সারাউন্ডিং হয়ে খেলোয়াড়দের মধ্যে দিতে হবে। এটা লিয়াজও করার দায়িত্ব থাকতো হচ্ছে একজন ডাক্তারের সাথে একজন আসতে, উনি আমাদেরকে নোটশিট দিতেন, প্র্যাকটিক্যালি দেখাতেন। আমরা কিছুটা প্রাইমারি স্টেজে খেলোয়াড়দের মাঠ থেকে আমরা সবসময় সেটা করার চেষ্টা করতাম। তো সেই জায়গায় ডাক্তার হচ্ছে সমাজের একটা মানে বলবো তো মানে দেবতাদের পরে যদি সেকেন্ড লাইফ দিতে পারে ডাক্তাররাই দিতে পারেন। তো এই মানে ডাক্তারই যেমন একটা শিল্পী, খেলোয়াড়রাও শিল্পী, যিনি ভালো লেখেন তিনিও শিল্পী, কিন্তু ডাক্তারদের যে ইনস্ট্যান্ট সাপোর্টটা মানুষকে আরো 20 বছর 30 বছর তার জীবনকে বাঁচিয়ে নিয়ে দেওয়ার চেষ্টা চলে। তার জন্য আপনাদের এই উদ্যোগ, এত ভালো প্রচেষ্টা। এই যে বলছে না রিসার্চ, তো এটা থেকে তো কোনোদিন মানে আমরা তো একটা প্রবাদ আছে না যে আমরা ছোটবেলায় এটা জানতাম যে থাকবো না খুব বদ্ধ করে দেখবো এবার জগৎটাকে কেমন করে ঘুরছে মানুষ, যুগান্তরের ঘূর্ণি পাখি, এগুলো কিন্তু একটা সারাউন্ডিং একটা বার্তা ছিল যেটা থেকে কিন্তু সবাই সমাজের খেলোয়াড়, ডাক্তার, যিনি সঙ্গীত শিল্পী সবার মধ্যে একটা লিঙ্ক আপ হয়ে রয়েছে। সুতরাং আপনাদের প্রতি অগাধ বিশ্বাস, শ্রদ্ধা। প্রতিমদাকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আমাকে যেন প্রতি বছর ডাকে। আমি 2023-তে সায়েন্স সিটি অডিটোরিয়ামে এসেছিলাম। আর আমার একটা ইচ্ছা আছে, আমার এখানে একজন সাংবাদিক বন্ধু আছে মিস্টার অনিলবাবু চট্টোপাধ্যায়, ওকেও আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, এসছে। আমরা একটা খেলোয়াড়দেরকে নিয়ে, খেলোয়াড় কোচেদেরকে নিয়ে আমরা একটা ক্লিনিক করার ইচ্ছা আছে অফিসিয়ালি। সেখানে প্রতিমদা এবং আপনারা যদি একটু আসেন, সেটা আমি বলবো আমার বন্ধু বিশেষ অনিলবাবু চট্টোপাধ্যায় আছে, একটু যদি উদ্যোগ নিয়ে আমাদেরকে একটু করে একটা দিন, হ্যাঁ ওনারা আছেন, অনিলবাবু ওখানে আছে। তো এটা আমার একটা দাবি রইল প্রতিমদার কাছে। আর আমাদের এখানে নিয়ে এসে সম্মান দেওয়ার জন্য আমরা কৃতজ্ঞ। ভবিষ্যতে যখন ডাকবেন আমরা তখনই আসার চেষ্টা, কারণ উনি কালকে রাত্রে খবর পেয়েছি, মানে যেখান থেকে বলতে বলা হচ্ছিল সেখানে আর কি আগে থেকে বলেনি, কিন্তু আমি সব কাজ ফেলে এসেছি। আমাদের একটা ইউনিভার্সিটি ওপেনিং হবে গোবিন্দপুরে আজকে, তাই জন্য আপনাদের কাছে মানে ক্ষমা চাইছি যে থাকতে পারবো না, আরো কিছু শিখতে পারতাম, শুনতে পারতাম। কি সুন্দর অল্প কথা বোঝালেন। হ্যাঁ মানে আপনাদের মধ্যে যে অনেক বেশি সমাজ চেতনা আছে, যেটা মানুষকে আগামী দিনে নতুন দিনের পথ দেখাবে, আলো দেখাবে, সেটা আপনাদের কথাবার্তার মধ্যে দিয়ে প্রকাশ পেয়েছে। অনেক ধন্যবাদ প্রীতমদাকে, অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আপনাদের সবাইকে নমস্কার, এবং খেলোয়াড় ফ্যাটার্নিটির তরফ থেকে আপনাদেরকে কৃতজ্ঞতা প্রকাশ করে আমি আমার সংক্ষিপ্ত যে বক্তব্য শেষ করলাম। নমস্কার।
So ladies and gentlemen, Honorable, thank you for coming. So this is the time, obviously we are slightly running late, so to go to the main curriculum. So today, you all know this World Kidney Day, we dedicate, we celebrate for the kidney disease. Now this is the session where I am going to discuss how to control creatinine. I believe each and everybody who is sitting behind having some issues with the kidney, the biggest challenge, the biggest nightmare, the biggest fear, if it is related to the kidney, is whether my creatinine is normal or not. If it is slightly go up, we are tensed. But when the report comes slightly better, we are so happy. Smiling comes in the face. And believe me, so this is extremely important topic which I am going to deliver today. And please be with me. I will not take more than 40-50 minutes. And we will love to discuss a lot of important and unknown facts which we have learned through our experience and the medical research, which ultimately helps us to protect the creatinine. এটা কাজ করছে না। So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a brief outline. Today I'll discuss understanding creatinine, what exactly creatinine is, why, how creatinine is being formed, what is relevance. And obviously we'll discuss some strategic intervention for delaying progression. We'll be very flat and not go in micro details because I understand this is a mixed audience. And obviously something about the environmental toxins and the nephrotoxins.
some lifestyle modifications and the common mistakes in the action plan. Ladies and gentlemen, creatinine is nothing but a muscle breakdown product. Exactly, muscle breakdown product, what do you exactly mean? আপনারা যারা জিমে যান, those who have went to the gym, আপনারা দেখেছেন জিম করার সময় লোকে ক্রিয়াটিন পাউডার খায়। I think you all observed, na? Creatine powder খায়। So what is creatine and what is creatinine? That need to be get cleared first. Creatine is something which is a special kind of biological protein which is synthesized by the 2 amino acid, and this creatine gives us energy to the muscle. So we do not monitor creatine, rather we measure creatinine. I repeat, creatine and creatinine are the 2 different molecules. Creatine is something which provides energy to the muscle. And once creatine is phosphorylated, broken down, the product which comes out is creatinine, which gets filtered from the kidney, and we monitor and measure creatinine because it is filtered from the kidney. If kidney is not working, then creatinine will go up. Now think about the situation. Right now I am talking, you are sitting, somebody is blinking, inside our heart, inside our body, heart is beating. So everywhere there is a movement, be it micro, be it macro. When Prashantata runs in the football field, he moves all the big limb muscles. But when I'm sitting here, even I'm not moving, even I'm sleeping, my heart is moving. So there is always movement. Life is a signature of movement. And every movement needs muscle to work. And every muscle need to work, they need creatinine. And every creatinine they need, they produce creatinine. So creatinine production in a body is a 24/7 continuous dynamic phenomenon. Are we in the same page? Did we understand this thing? Please raise your hand who have not understood this thing. This is the basic concept which everybody should understand, that creatinine is a continuously produced in our body while we are moving our muscles, be it small, be it big, be it even we are blinking our eyes, we are producing creatinine. And that creatinine, we need creatinine, and that creatinine is producing creatinine, and kidney is continuously filtering that creatinine. So that is the thing, the creatinine filter. So this is how creatinine is produced in our body from creatine to amino acid. They form creatine and ultimately they broke it down to form creatine. Now, with the muscle activity, creatinine grows. Dietary intake, if we take some fish, if we take some mutton, chicken, everything, while there is some muscle, that per se this muscle contains creatine, because every muscle in this living entity, they need creatine. So they ultimately give rise to creatinine. And when we eat protein, they have amino acids. As I said, this amino acid ultimately builds creatine, so creatine is formed. So any kind of protein intake, be it amino acids or muscle intake, ultimately give rise to a creatine load which metabolize and produce creatinine. Is it clear? So now, think about some situation. This gentleman is a bodybuilder. His kidney is functioning well. So he needs a huge amount of creatine. So creatinine production in his body will be high. Henceforth, the creatinine level, if we measure in the blood, it will be high. That does not mean that his kidneys is not healthy or unable to filter creatinine. On the contrary, this lady or this gentleman, which is frail enough, no muscle, even his kidney is not working well, he or this type of frail any lady might have a normal creatinine with deranged or compromised kidney function. So the creatinine level per se is not only by which we can assess whether our kidney is filtering creatinine well from the body or not. It depends on how it is producing also. Similarly, there are other factors like if you have a very heavy protein meal, so you consume extra creatinine in the body, and if you test your blood within 48 hours, your creatinine may be high. Similarly, if you do some heavy exercise and do your blood test, and your creatinine may be slightly high. So ladies and gentlemen, today your creatinine was 1.2, you are happy, and tomorrow you did some exercise and you test your blood and creatinine gone up slightly, 1.6. Don't get panicked. This might be effect of exercise. It does not necessarily mean that your kidney has fallen down. So normal creatinine we know 0.6 to 1.1 in case of
female and it is 0.7, 1.3 in case of male. And based on creatinine, we calculate estimated GFR, which gives us some idea the overall filtration function of the kidney. Now, question is, what is GFR? Today, because of this technology and available information in the WhatsApp, Facebook, Google, everybody checks his creatinine, immediately do a eGFR test, and then start panicking that my GFR has fallen down, possibly. So I am very sick, my kidneys is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, please try to understand, GFR measurement is complex. We cannot accurately measure the filtration rate of the glomeruli. Henceforth, what we do estimated GFR. একটা মোটামুটি অনুমান করা হয়। Henceforth, it is called eGFR. It is not accurate. There are a lot of variations by which eGFR varies. So, interpretation of eGFR needs some kind of wisdom, some kind of understanding. The factors which combine, which impact the eGFR are multiple. So, do not interpret eGFR on your own. We need to understand what are the factors responsible for that. Now, depending on eGFR, not only depending on the eGFR, we assess the kidney function. On top of eGFR, we look at the albumin-creatinine ratio, we look at the creatinine and GFR relationship. A lot of factors, I'm not going to this complex area. But question is, when you should worry with your creatinine? If your creatinine is persistently rising, if there is a persistent rise in the urine protein leakage, and there are some physical symptoms of co-adaptation. That means, we get a laptop video. That means, when there are some sign of adaptation failure is happening. For example, you are getting, there is a acidosis, potassium is going up, volume overload, sign of volume overload is coming, appetite is lost. These are some of the clinical features based on which we understand the adaptation failure is happening. That is not a good sign. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those who are sitting here with kidney problem, they must know the kidney disease has a long course of the natural history for progression. It starts with asymptomatic stage. In the silent damage, there is no symptom, and this is the area where we need to intervene maximally. Then there are minimal symptoms. Then later on, the advanced kidney disease happens, and the situation comes sometime when we need dialysis or transplant to make life survivable. So we have to understand the trajectory of kidney disease. The question is, can we reverse this thing? The question lies here. Somebody has a chronic kidney disease. Now we know over a period of time it will progress. It will progress to the stage when dialysis will be required. And we all know dialysis as transplant is a very painful treatment, very costly treatment, very resource-driven treatment. It is not easy to conduct. Neither we have adequate resource, neither we have adequate expert, and it is costly. So we have to do something to revert it. And the question is it possible to do that? I strongly believe it is yes. But it needs a modern medicine and the comprehensive care. It can at least revert or retard the progression. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to introduce you the 7D technique, the 7D strategy, which is important, which is extremely important, which I believe is necessary to retard the progression of chronic kidney disease. What is the 7D? First is the right diagnosis. Second is obviously the diet, daily lifestyle. I'll discuss about this, what are important. Doctor plays a very important role. And coming to that point, then drugs. Obviously, a lot of pharmaceutical intervention has been given nowadays. There are a lot of diverse agents which impact the kidney health in a bad way, in multiple ways. We need to understand that thing. And there is a certain factor, as Sir said in the very beginning lecture, the human body does not come with a manual. So we do not know everything. Henceforth, destiny is a factor. When we do not know, we throw it to the destiny. So there are some area which is still unknown, we call it as a destiny. Now diagnosis, obviously, kidney disease is diverse. If you look at 10,000 feet overview of kidney disease, then you know the patterns are, there are echo, please look at the mind. There are AKI, CKD can be stable and compensated, there could be decompensated or unstable CKD, there could be rapidly progressing renal failure, acute on chronic kidney disease, and obviously the outcome of the disease depends on how the other organs are involved concomitant with the chronic kidney disease. Kidney disease is never limited only on kidney. It impacts goes on the heart, it impacts goes on the nervous system, it impacts on our mineral bone disease, it has impact on our sarcopenia, so many actions are there. So the second point in the 7D is the diet. Diet is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen. It is believed in our system, in the initial system, when this so much modern medicine has not evolved to that stage, we used to believe what we eat, what we are. On the contrary, one step ahead, what we digest, that we are. So our digestive system is different. We have a different kind of metabolic syndrome in every human being, and it cannot be the one shoe fit for all. We have to design, customize our every person nutrition plan, understanding his gut microbiota, understanding his digestive capacity, understanding the nature of it. And here comes the metabolic assessment, which I will discuss in the later part. Addressing protein is the one important area. For that, there are so many strategies: restricted protein diet, lacto-vegetarian, plano diet, that is plant-dominant diet, keto diet, Mediterranean diet, vegan diet. These all have some benefits, some merits, some demerits. But essentially, these are all targeted to address the amino acid loads and look in the kidney. Now, renal diet fundamental areas are: we have to prioritize the fresh and plant-based. We have to prioritize the hidden additives, which is a tremendous impact in terms of progression, and obviously you have to integrate the sodium intake. There are a few basic standards when the renal nutritionist, when they plan a nutritional goal and want to plan a menu for a patient, they take on that how much protein, how much sodium they should allow. But most important thing we have to understand, when we reduce protein, we should not allow somebody to have significant sarcopenia, and that need to be supplemented with the ketamine acid, which is necessary. We need to look at the potassium management, phosphate control, and smart hydration techniques. And to address those things, ladies and gentlemen, long back we published, it is now second and third edition, we designed a book, we written a book with the help of our dietitians, with a lot of recipes, with a lot of research, which test goods but maintains all the nutrition principles of the CKD. You know, if somebody who is suffering from chronic kidney disease, he has a habituation of in the family to take a high salt, and suddenly the salt is restricted. How the taste of salt will be replaced without adding salt? Those are the research we did together, and we prepared this recipe book where there are 75 mind-blowing recipes, starting from the breakfast menu, mid-morning menu, lunch menus, which not make somebody's life tasteless. So these books will help or make the life of a CKD patient spicy. Ladies and gentlemen, there are few things which a lot of people must know. One of them is star fruit, betel nut, GUHA or pan masala, cold drinks, and Chinese horse. So betel nut is very important in terms of inducing and progressing chronic kidney disease. Once upon a time, I used to go to Tripura, Agartala, and there people used to take betel nut like anything. And you'll be surprised, every families we used to see a large number of CKD patients. And later on we came to know that betel nut nephropathy is another entity which happens. I mean, I Shilchar pan khawar khub projalon ache. Exactly. So we have to be very careful about consuming betel nuts. Same with star fruits. I am born in North Bengal. আমাদের বাড়িতে কামরাঙ্গা গাছ ছিল। You know this ছোটবেলায় কত কামরাঙ্গা খেয়েছি, তখন আমরা জানতাম না যে this cause oxalate nephropathy, and it is some kind of chemicals which ultimately causes fibrosis in the kidney. And there was a beautiful publication in the clinical nephrology journals and also the NDD that this star fruit, consuming star fruit for a long time, can lead to acute and chronic, and also can lead to acute oxalate nephropathy. So you have to be very careful about this. GUHA and pan masala is nowadays a common culture. I see a lot of people's, and I think there are some preference in Marwari families. इसको बहुत चलता है, क्यों पता नहीं. And this GUHA is notorious to cause kidney stones, and there are a lot of publications that it causes renal fibrosis. And same with cold drinks. Cold drinks are also, the colored cold drinks are notorious for causing kidney stones. They produce the fibrosis because they have a lot of heavy metals. And on top of that, these cold drinks can cause fluid load, calorie overload, hyperkalemia, and acid wasting. Ladies and gentlemen,
This is an interesting video I want to show all of you. You must know what happens in the healthcare. Please listen. এটা একটু চালাতে হবে বাবু। তোমার নামটা বলে আমাকে এটা বলে আজ তো কি প্রবলেম হয়েছিল বলো।
আমার তো কিডনি 1.5 থেকে আমি ট্রিটমেন্ট শুরু করেছি। তারপরে শুরু করে দেখাতে হঠাৎ করে এক জায়গায় আমি মনে হলো একটা ভিডিও দেখলাম ইউটিউবে, দেখার পর মনে হলো যে আধ্যাত্মিক জায়গায় যাই। তো সেখানে গেলাম, যাওয়ার পর সেখানে ঠাকুরেরই মন্দির, সেখান থেকে আমাকে বললো তুমি প্রত্যেক দিন 2টো করে জবা ফুল খাও। হ্যাঁ, তাহলে 2টো করে জবা ফুল পারতে করে জবা ফুল খেতে বললো। আমি খেয়েছি, আমি যেহেতু হিন্দু, আমি বিশ্বাস করে খেয়েছি। খাওয়ার পর এখন তার থেকে আমার এফেক্ট হয়েছে কিনা জানি না, কিন্তু আমি বর্তমানে ওই পিরিয়ডটাতে আমার অনেকটাই বেড়ে গেছে। আমার 3.2 ছিল, ওখান থেকে এখন আমার ওই 10.6 হয়ে গেছে।
So the message is, this gentleman was advised to take java full. Daily 2টো করে জবা ফুল খাও, কিডনি ভালো হয়ে যাবে। তো ও 1 মাস 2টো করে জবা ফুল খেয়েছে। His baseline creatinine was 3 and it has jumped in a month 11.5, 10.5, 11.5, and then he came to us to for help. Ladies and gentlemen, please, হাত জোড় করে বলছি, এরকম অনেক অ্যাডভাইস পাবেন। You will get this type of advice everywhere. So many people know so many things about kidney. Please don't follow those things. Next, the third component of the D is the lifestyle, which has a tremendous impact on which most important is the exercise. Basic monitoring like blood pressure, intake output chart, body weight, sleep, tremendous important for the maintaining kidney and the. Today, লোকজন রাতে ঘুমায় না, সবাই রাত্রিবেলায় হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করছে, ফেসবুক করছে, 3টের সময় ঘুমোতে যায়। I have seen the children of this age. So you have to be very careful about maintaining, because sleep is the only time when there is a natural dip of your blood pressure. Your sympathetic tone gets down and the cortisol secretion becomes less. And we all know this causes fibrosis in the kidney. So you have to be very careful about that. And obviously stress, dietary discipline, no mention, these are very important to keep our kidney healthy. For lifestyle, from NephroCare and the kidney care, we started a program called Mukti. Mukti is a fantastic program, ladies and gentlemen. It improves the adaptability to the chronic kidney disease. It improves the tolerance to the chronic kidney disease. We did some seminar research on this. We have 2 groups, one who are on Mukti, one who are not on Mukti. And we followed them with these parameters for the next 3 months. And you see what happened. The blood pressure control, there is a significant better control because you are practicing Mukti. The same medical medications. And if you see the BMI, fat mass index and the muscle mass index all showed positive trend for the Mukti practitioners. And though there was no significant change in the blood pressure, which we expected, but it has a tremendous impact on lower trend while those who are practicing Mukti. And if you see the WHO wellness score in terms of the quality of the life, it showed a significant improvement in those who are practicing. Only 3-month Mukti practice improves the WHO quality wellness score from 6 to 24. It is nothing. Anybody can do at home. And these are some techniques, some breathing practices which we teach, and it is tremendous impact. Please give a big hand for the Mukti. This is all we did. We collaborated together with a lot of effort. We developed, after a lot of trial and error, we designed the curriculum, and it is working fantastic. So these are some of the data of what we got in the Mukti. And doctor is also important. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, as you're maturing in this field, the empathetic relationship with the doctor has some healing effect. No reason, you cannot explain in the medicine. But there are reasons, there are situations when the some medicine works in a different way in a person, where the patient takes the medicine with a belief. I don't know how it works. Maybe some more research is required, but it is important. Second is the drugs and the pharmaceutical intervention. Nowadays, a lot of new medicine has came for the preventing and retarding progression. Most important is the ACE inhibitor, SCD2 inhibitors, Fingerone, and also GLP-1 receptor antagonists. These are the 4 main pillars by which we can retard the progression of the chronic kidney disease. The blood pressure control has a seminal importance. We know we target the blood pressure less than 130/80.
And for the diabetic patients, we targeted very good glycemic control with HbA1c target less than 7. And ACE inhibitors are the first important drugs. Then comes the ACE inhibitors. These groups of drug came as an anti-diabetic, but later on it found to be very, very important for preventing the kidney protection. Finerenone is a new discovery in this field. Ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing but a steroid receptor inhibitors. So mineralocorticoid is some kind of steroid which secretes in our body, and it secretes in some kind of stressful situation, sympathetic overdrive, and these receptors are blocked by this new drug, and it has been seen it reduces proteinuria, it protects our heart, it protects our kidney for the progressing chronic kidney disease. Same thing happened with the newer medicine like GLP-1 receptor antagonist and also the sparsentan, which is a new medicine which tremendously helps in IgA nephropathy. So these are some of the drugs, complex thing. I'm not going to the details because it's a big crowd, but we need to understand a lot of new drugs are coming which are helpful in preventing progression of the chronic kidney disease and maintaining the kidney health. GLP-1 receptor agonist has a lot of other benefits too. And L-acetylcysteine and taurine, we did first randomized control trial to show its benefit in protecting the kidney function. And obviously, when you restrict protein, this keto-analog supplementation protects the sarcopenia. This has a tremendous impact in maintaining our health. So there are some sequence of the therapies. Obviously, these are extremely medical. The doctors believe in this. First to start with the ACE inhibitor as a foundation, then add on SGLT2 inhibitors, then target some mineralocorticoid receptor inhibitors, and obviously the supporting management and GLP-1 as well. Now we need to understand there are so many drugs which are harmful for the kidney. We have to be very careful about consuming drugs and knowing the fact that most important is the painkillers, next is the diuretics which makes urine, but if it is overused, that is dangerous for the kidney. We have to be very careful about the antibiotics. A lot of antibiotics are very, very harmful. And also, chemotherapeutic agents, they have a lot of heavy metals which leads to the kidney problem. Regarding medicine, this is another video I have to show all of you. A lot of time it comes to the question. Aajkal, জনৌষধিতে ওষুধ পাওয়া যায়, when people buy drug from government sources where the medicine cost is 70% low. I'll show you some examples of what happens with this type of drug. This gentleman is one of our patients. He's a very senior advocate. This sound about our system. Discipline life before আজকে আমার কাছে এসে বলছে স্যার সব রিপোর্টে অ্যাওয়ার্ড হয়ে গেছে, ক্রেডিট বেড়ে গেছে, পড়ে গেছে, চিন্তা করলাম, ওষুধ পাল্টালাম, প্রেসক্রিপশন দেবার আগে ওষুধ আমাকে একটা কি বললেন ওটা একটু বলুন না। বললাম যে 1 মাস আমি মেডিসিন খেলাম, সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্টের জনস্বাস্থ্য ডিপার্টমেন্টের ওখান থেকে কিনেছি, প্রধানমন্ত্রী জনস্বাস্থ্য ডিপার্টমেন্টের যে মেডিসিনগুলো পাওয়া যায় ওই দোকান থেকে 1 মাস মেডিসিন খেয়েছি। তুমি কতদিন আমাদের চিকিৎসা আছো অরুণদা তুমি বলো? আমি প্রায় বছর দুয়েক তো আছি। 2 বছরের মধ্যে তোমার কখনো এরকম ক্রিয়েটিভ জানতাম এটা থেকে কি ডিরাইভ হয় সেই জন্যই তো আমি বললাম কথাটা আপনাকে। তুমি প্লিজ এটা করো না, দিস ইজ মাই হাম্বল রিকোয়েস্ট। ঠিক আছে, আমি জানি কারণ একটু খরচের। ম্যান ওয়াজ ডুইং এক্সেলেন্ট, নো প্রবলেম, ভালোই আছে। একটু প্রধানমন্ত্রী জনৌষধির ওষুধ কিনে 1 মাস খেলেন, 2 ক্রিয়াটিনিন বেড়ে 4.5 হয়ে গেছে। তারপর ছুটে এসেছেন, আমি তো ভাবছি কি হলো রে বাবা, প্রেশার তো দেখছি কি ব্যাপার। দেন হি সেড স্যার আমি তো সব ভালোই ছিলাম, এই সবাই বললো বাড়ির লোকজন তো সস্তায় পাওয়া যায়। সো বি কেয়ারফুল। And quality of drug has to be, we have to be very careful about the quality of the drug. So diverse environmental toxic agents, we have to be careful about the hair dyes, because a lot of hair dyes, আমরা সবাই ইয়াং হতে চাই, চুলে একটু রং টং লাগাই, কিন্তু lot of hair dyes, they contain the paraphenyl oil, this PPD1 chemicals. This chemical is notoriously toxic for the kidney. Same with hair straightening agents. যখন আমরা হেয়ার স্ট্রেট করে মেয়েরা, তখন গ্লাইকোলিক অ্যাসিড ওলা একটা লোশন লাগিয়ে তারপর তাকে হিট দেওয়া হয়। And this glycolic acid, it has been seen, it get absorbed and it is notorious for the kidney. Recently, Kerala একটা কেস রিপোর্ট পাবলিশ হলো, there was a one fairness cream যেটা সব মেয়েরা মাখছিল, দেখা গেল একটা ফ্যামিলিতে প্রায় 5 জনের acute renal failure was. So when they researched, they found this contained a very heavy mercury. So mercury has some kind of skin lightening effect. So we have to be very careful about applying these things which has some impact on the kidney. Chinese house, it is now sold in supermarket. Amazing. Just few days back, I went to the Spencer, I saw there was a Chinese house is selling. They are selling for weight reduction in journal bigri hoche. Khan ojan kome jabe. People are taking this thing. And Chinese herb nephropathy is a known entity. Please be careful about these things. Same with a lot of detox. There are so many, in the name of detox, so many things are sold in the market, which are ultimately has to be filtered to the kidney and they lead to some problem. So before you buy anything, before you believe on what is written in the label, please check the doctors. Is it okay for your kidney or not? Unknowingly, you may be harming your kidney. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be very careful about NSAIDs, that is painkillers, antibiotics, and obviously some of these safe interactions. And last but not the least is the destiny. Yes, in some areas we cannot identify why creatinine goes up, even doing everything. We call it destiny. Possibly it is a lack of our knowledge, lack of discovery, because human kidney or human body does not came with a manual, as I said. So there are so many things that are unknown. Probably that may be the reason in that bucket those things go on. So what need to be done? The most important thing is clarity on the diagnosis. By diagnosis, it does not mean that AKI, this is very superficial. You have to go much more deeper. What is exactly happening? Is it simply kidney? What are the other organs involved? I have another topic around. And so, in kidney disease, how thorough we need to be to identify the syndromic approach to the disease. Next, we have to be very careful the trajectory, because the GFR and the creatinine, they follows a plateau and steep pattern. Initial 5-10 years there will be minimal rise, but suddenly they start going. A lot of time I'm like, sir, so why this thing happens? Because they probably came in the upper steep part of the trajectory. He had experience of having a low creatinine over 10 years, and then when he consulted a nephrologist, he might be in the upper part of the trajectory, then the creatinine is rising. So that clarity needs to be given to the patient before dealing with that. And obviously, we have to define a very smart, realistic goal, which is a specific, where we can measure, where we can attain the goal, and it has to be time bound. And with these, we have developed some kind of specific action plan. We call it a 3 months combat kidney disease category. So this is combat kidney disease, which we have designed the program. This program is a 3 months program where we have a combination of assessment, medical optimizations, then lifestyle integration in terms of the yoga and nutrition intervention, and also, and we have to review and refine. And this combat kidney disease has remarkably helping a large number of patients to returning the progression of the CKD or reversing the chronic disease. Yoga, pranayama, they have a tremendous benefit, tremendous help, and we do a lot of research in this field. We are doing a lot of work in this, and this is still evolving, and I believe there are multiple ways it helps. It reduces the pro-inflammatory, cytokine, and anti-inflammatory immune response. It improves the respiratory function. Obviously, it reduces the sympathetic nervous system stress and improves the parasympathetic nervous system activity. This improves the barrel reflex sensitivity. No medicine can do it, but yoga and pranayama can do it. And also, the endothelial function, we have very limited pharmaceutical intervention for that. We can achieve with this. And obviously, it improves the obesity, blood pressure, and the renal adrenal function. We have a very short trial of 769 patients, 3 months, and we have seen the WHO wellness score increasing from 6 to 24 in 3 months intervention. So why not we should implement it more and more in day-to-day care. There are a lot of kidney-friendly asanas and kidney-friendly bhojanas. Much more research is needed to scientifically and objectively identify their benefits. I think together, me, Subrata, through our vehicle mantra, we'll do a lot of good work. Just for your information, a lot of people don't know that we have started right now a fitness assessment testing by the VO2 max for the CKD patients. Anybody who is otherwise fit can walk and run. They can understand and do a VO2 max to understand their cardiac fitness. How much exercise is optimal? Which is the break-even limit? How much is actually to be done for you? Because we have came across a lot of news while doing gym, somebody dies of heart attack. Why this happens? Because they don't know what is the stage of limit. they follow their peers, but there are measurable index by which you can understand how much exercise is accurate for you, how much you should do, how much you should not. And that is done to the VO2 max. We have that facility in our lab right now. And essentially, in combat kidney disease, we have incorporation of all these things. So I recommend those who are not exposed to combat kidney disease, please get exposed to this program. This is a fantastic program where all this has been combined in a 3-month, very structured program which can help somebody. And there are some of the reviews who have been joined in the combat kidney disease program. They got mesmerized. In 3 months, what can happen? Somebody's creatinine reverse from 2 to 1. Somebody's feeling energetic. So they have given multiple reviews we have.
I am a participant in this wonderful program.
It will go on and go on. It will not. So the key takeaway is CKD care and the reversing creatinine in some of the situation is possible. Some of the situation it may not be possible, but we have to try. How we should try? Not only the pharmaceutical intervention. We need a 360 holistic care, which includes nutrition, lifestyle, wellness, and proper assessment, metabolic parameter assessment. And if that can be implemented, I think all the 70 can be implemented. It is possible to revert the CKD. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this academic session is going on right now. My dear colleague Saurabh, Prabhat Mansali, and Tathagata, the 3 young staff, 3 musketeers are sitting there. I can see them. Who will speak first? Tatha? Are you ready? Okay, so I'll invite Tathagata. So Dr. Tathagata Mukherjee is one of the brilliant nephrologists, budding nephrologist, and luckily he is from the same place where I am. So we understand the sleep is a big problem in majority of the chronic kidney disease patients. So Tatha will throw some light how we can address the sleep issues in the chronic kidney disease. Over to Tatha, please.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Tathagata Mukherjee. I am an associate nephrologist associated with NephroCare. And today I am going to talk about sleep disorders in chronic kidney disease. Can I get the PPT, please? Now, coming to sleep disorders in CKD, this presentation will mainly focus regarding about how to address them, how to diagnose them, and why diagnosing them and treating them is important for the patients. And to start off, we should know what is sleep, like why is that important. So sleep is not only a measure or method to rest your body. It's, to be medically speaking, it's a temporary natural process when there is reduced consciousness, which actually helps our physical restoration of every cell's organs. It helps in our emotional regulations. It helps in our cognitive recycling. That's what sleep does. So having a good night's sleep is very important for your body. Not more, even importantly, in patients with chronic kidney disease. Now there are different types of sleep disorders which we can see in chronic kidney disease, and to sum them up, there are 4 main disorders that we see in patients of chronic kidney disease, the sleep disorders. The first one we all know, I think, as insomnia, lack of sleep, lack of proper sleep. If we go by the definition of insomnia, it's abnormality or problem in initiation of sleep, ki ghum asche na, or maintenance of sleep. Yeah. So insomnia, যেটা বলছিলাম, there is abnormality in initiation of sleep or maintenance of sleep, যে ঘুমটা থাকছে না বা বা তাড়াতাড়ি ভেঙে যাচ্ছে, there is early awakening, and also there is which is impacting our daytime activities. দিনের বেলার কাজগুলো আমাদের করতে অসুবিধা হচ্ছে, তার মানে আমার ঘুম ঠিক হচ্ছে না, আমার ফিজিক্যাল রিস্টোরেশন ঠিক হয়নি. That's what insomnia is, and it affects around 40 to 80% of CKD patients. So it's important. কারণ যদি ঘুম না হয়, ফিজিক্যাল রিস্টোরেশন if it's not properly done, তাহলে আমাদের heart will be affected, kidney will be affected, whole of the body can be affected. It can affect our mortality. It can decrease our lifespan. So it's important that we have a proper sleep. So the first thing, when a patient comes to us and tells us ki, sir, I am not having a good night's sleep, what we should do? We should ask them regarding any cause. What is causing this sleep problem to him or her? Like it's primary or sleep disorders, or if it's secondary to something. If the patient is having intense pruritus, intense itching, jeta CKD patientদের খুব হয়, and that is causing problem in sleep, then we have to address that. If it's any pain in his body, if it's any other stress, mental stress or physical, then we have to address that. So if the sleep problem is due to some other causes, then we have to treat them first. We have to address them first. And so as I was speaking, the insomnia can be caused by multiple factors. It can be associated with anxiety and depression. It can be caused due to some medication. It can also be caused due to some lifestyle factors like sleep hygiene. ঠিকঠাক ঘুমের কিছু কিছু প্রসেস হয় যেটা নিয়ে কথা বলবো, সেটা ফলো করছেন না তারা, and also some metabolic factors, and so also so many other things. So we have to be cautious about what is causing this. And so what we have to tell the patient, we have to tell them to maintain a sleep diary, at what time he or she is going to sleep and what time he or she has to get out of the bed. Has she have enough sleep or not? And if he or she maintains that daily diary for the sleep, then we can get an idea that if this is really problematic or not. And there are some indexes by which we can define, like Pittsburgh Sleep Index. We'll not go into that right now. So once we have identified a patient with insomnia, that they're not having proper sleep, and we have excluded other possible causes, like there is no intense itching, no intense pain, no other anxiety, or any other medication which is causing this decreased sleep, then how we should proceed? The one thing that is a takeaway message here, that medication is not a long-term solution for insomnia. The first line management is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. There are some things that we have to teach the patients so that he or she can properly learn how to de-stress, how to get rid of the anxiety, and how to get asleep, how to fall asleep properly. There's a first line therapy for insomnia, and there's a CBTI, and then we have to teach them how to maintain the sleep hygiene and exercise. Some medications we can obviously use, which we'll be prescribing. Now coming to these 4 corners, how to maintain a proper sleep. It starts with sleep hygiene, stimulus control, sleep restriction, and cognitive therapy and relaxation. To simplify it a bit, it's very important. How to maintain sleep hygiene? Like, what is sleep hygiene? আমরা সবাই শুনেছি what about hand wash, hand hygiene, but what is sleep hygiene? There are some basic things that we have to follow. Like, we have to আমাদের একটা রেগুলার বেড টাইম মেনটেন করতে হবে। যখন আমি যাব, কখন আমি ঘুম থেকে উঠবো, আমার তাতে ঘুম যদি হয় বা না হয়, I'll still stick to that routine. It's important. আমার বেডরুম বা বেড will use exclusively for sleep. আমি অন্য সময় সেই বিছানায় গিয়ে শোবো না, বিছানায় গিয়ে বসবো না। এভাবে I will mentally train my body and mind to fall asleep. আমি বিছানায় শুয়ে মোবাইল ঘাঁটবো না, অন্য কাজে এনগেজ করবো না যতক্ষণ I'll only focus and restrict those things, associated environment to sleep only. That's the thing that sleep hygiene is all about. Overeating at night will avoid. রাতে moderate eating করব, খুব বেশি খাবো না, early dinner করব, এবং তারপরে if possible will take a walk or a brisk exercise that can help tremendously in sleeping. So these sleep hygiene things are very important. And regarding stimulus control, that already one I have spoken about. I mean, rate stimulus, কোনো external or internal stimulus, I will not indulge. Like, আমি যেটা মোবাইলের কথা বললাম, আমি মোবাইল ঘাঁটবো না। আমি যখন ঘুম পাবে, when I will be sleepy, তখনই আমি ঘুমোতে যাব। যদি আমি বেশিক্ষণ আমার ঘুম না পাই, আমি শুয়ে থাকবো না। Rather, I will get out of my bed and have a brisk walk. And when I feel sleepy again, I will come back to my bed. This is what stimulus control is. And also, I will not nap during the day. আমি দিনের বেলা ঘুমাবো না। আমি চেষ্টা করব আমার স্লিপ সাইকেলটাকে আমার বডিকে ট্রেন করার, যাতে আমার সার্কাডিয়ান রিদম, যেটা আমাদের বায়োলজিক্যাল ক্লক থাকে পিনিয়াল গ্ল্যান্ডে, উই হ্যাভ টু ট্রেন অ্যান্ড রিট্রেন ইট, যাতে ও শেখে আই হ্যাভ টু ফল অ্যাসলিপ অ্যাট দিস টাইম. So it's a kind of training that we have to do on a long-term basis by stimulus control, sleep hygiene, and obviously then, as I was speaking, that sleep restriction. The bed I am using for sleep, I will use at that time only. If I am not falling asleep, then I'll get out of the bed. I'll have a brisk walk and come back again. These are the basic things that we have to maintain for sleep hygiene. And obviously, the CBTI, the tremendous helpful thing will be meditation, breathing technique. These things will be tremendously helpful. And after all these things, which will take care of like 90% of the problems, then we have to go for medications. One thing we have to remember, medication is useful for treatment of short-term insomnia, not long-term. That's less than 3 months problem with sleep. Their medication can help well, but not in long-term. In long-term, the sleep hygiene, this stimulus restriction, this breathing technique, this stimulus control, this can help tremendously. This cognitive behavioral therapy, meditation, breathing techniques, this will help, not medication in the long run. That we have to bear in our mind. Now coming to the second problem. First was the most important thing, that was insomnia. That was sleep apnea. What is sleep apnea? Like sometimes we see so many patients who are having difficult to control blood pressures or difficult to control blood sugars, or their CV health like heart health or their kidney health is deteriorating rapidly. We don't know what is wrong with them sometimes, and suddenly his or her partner says that they snore too much at night, and there we can get some hint that it can be a sleep apnea. To simplify the things, sleep apnea can be of two types. It can be due to the central regulatory problem, or if there is some obstruction in the upper respiratory tract. But the bottom line is, if sleep apnea is you are having sudden stoppage of respiratory movements during sleep. Apnea is stop of respiration, loss of respiration, and during sleep you are having that stop of respiration, then it's sleep apnea. So how does this happen? And how does this affect the health of a kidney disease patients? Because when a person is having sleep apnea, his body doesn't get enough oxygen during the sleep intermittently, and that tremendously affects the health of all organs, including heart and kidney. So we have to be very cautious about this sleep apnea, and this sleep apnea is much more common in obese males. So if an obese patient comes with difficulty in controlling BP, difficulty in controlling sugars, and her echo or heart imaging is not very reassuring, and the treatment is not getting controlled, then we obviously should be very suspicious about the presence of sleep apnea. So how do we diagnose sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is diagnosed by a test called polysomnography, in which we see some ratio called apnea hyperapnea index, and we have some tremendously important therapy that can change the course of this disease. Like we can use CPAP, continuous positive ambulatory pressure during sleep, or we can also, in dialysis patients, we can improve their ultrafiltration so that more fluid is removed and that fluid accumulation in the body gets less, so the obstructive sleep apnea symptoms get relieved. And relief of these symptoms, relief of this sleep apnea severity can tremendously affect the health of the patients with chronic kidney disease. This is study proven that relieving sleep apnea actually decreases the mortality and the morbidity of the patients. So the bottom line is, if you are having some really daytime dizziness, দিনের বেলা ঘুম পাচ্ছে, রাতে ঘুম হচ্ছে, কিন্তু your partner is complaining যে you are having some snoring, বা আপনি রাতে intense একটা choking and sensation এ জেগে উঠছেন, মাঝে মাঝে একটা বড় পজ হচ্ছে শ্বাসের, then you should really get tested, because it can be sleep apnea and it can change the course of the disease in your body. Coming to the third and very important thing, there is restless leg syndromes. Patientরা অনেক সময় কি এসে বলেন যে আমার লেগ, আমার পা দুটো প্রচন্ড দাপাদাপি করতে ইচ্ছে করছে সন্ধ্যাবেলার পরে বা আর্লি নাইটে। There is an irresistible urge to move the legs due to some paresthesia or abnormal sensation in the legs, which ultimately causes distress and heavily affects the sleep quality and ultimately the health of the patients. Why this is important? Because there is some very reversible cause which can cause this restless leg syndrome, one of which is iron deficiency. We all know যে CKD পেশেন্টদের iron deficiency খুব common. So এই কমপ্লেইনটা যদি থাকে restless leg-এর, then we have to get the patients tested for iron deficiency, and if the patient is deficient, we have to treat the patients accordingly. There are definitely other causes, other neurological causes, some muscle causes, muscular causes, which we have to take care also. But this is a very important and simple thing that can be treated very simply. So coming to this thing, that why we have to screen the patients for sleep disorders, because a good night's sleep can really affect your CV health. A good night's sleep can really calm down your kidney so that it can retard the progression of the chronic kidney disease. And so we have to be very suspicious in a patient that if he or she is getting a good night's sleep or not, as if we can intervene, the course of the disease, the renal disease progression can be changed and the patient's health can be improved tremendously. Thank you.
It was very, very excellent deliberation by Dr. Tathagato regarding sleep. Now there is another youngster, Dr. Saurabh Shadukhan. So before Saurabh speaks, I'll request KOUSHIK, because KOUSHIK has some urgency, KOUSHIK to speak few words to the lot of audience who are waiting to listen from you. Tell something about some message to protect kidney, and after that I'll call Saurabh. Saurabh, please, or get ready for your interventional nephrology, the marvelous specialty.
Thank you, Dr. Sengupta. It's indeed World Kidney Day which you are observing, and in fact I am attached to nephrology for around 30 years, and we are observing World Kidney Day from the year 2006, so it's now around 20 years we are observing. And over these 20-30 years, a lot of changes has happened, and in not only in the treatment or in the medication field for kidney disease, but what I have observed is the burden of the kidney disease, which Pratim highlighted initially. And worldwide, we know that now maybe 1 in every 10% is having kidney disease, and in India, as Pratim told, it's 1 in 6. Worldwide, the estimated population which is suffering from kidney disease is more than 850 million. And as the population is expanding, the prevalence of this kidney disease is going up by leaps and bounds. But this year's World Kidney Day highlights the theme of caring for patients and protecting the planet, and it has a very wide implication in the sense that climate and kidney disease, they have now a vice versa connection. That is, worsening of climatic conditions can lead to further increase in the kidney disease, and also increase in the kidney disease can lead to the worsening of the climatic conditions. And we all know that because of these global climate change and this global heating, dehydration and heat stress, and there is a huge surge of the tropical diseases like malaria, dengue, and this gastroenteritis. We are all always speaking about chronic kidney disease and how chronic kidney disease has become a menace because of two non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension, which are the main cause of chronic kidney disease. At the same time, a lot of patients are suffering from acute kidney ailments as well. And the surge in these tropical diseases has contributed immensely in increasing this acute kidney injury in this part of the world particularly. And with that, obviously, as Pratim also highlighted, the use of over-the-counter drugs or maybe unspecified herbal drugs and antibiotics, maybe without even consulting a physician. So that actually has a lot of implication on the kidney health, and this deteriorating kidney health has a lot of implication on the climate as well, because we know that ultimately if we cannot protect the kidneys, we will land up in dialysis, and you cannot believe that how much carbon footprint one dialysis session actually leaves, and it is basically equivalent to driving a car for 240 kilometers. So basically, in dialysis we use a lot of water, about 120 liters of water, RO water, and to get that 120 liters of RO water, we have to waste a lot of other water, energy, and at the same time, lot of plastics, single-use plastics. So all these are detrimental for climate. So basically these are all interlinked, and that is what is being highlighted in this year's World Kidney Day. And obviously, in order to save our planet, in order to save nature, what we have to do is we have to prevent kidney disease, because the problem with the kidney disease is a very silent one. Very often we detect kidney disease when they are already in a very advanced stage. So we have to have some surveillance mechanisms or some regular checkup mechanisms by which we can actually detect these kidney disease early, we can manage them, we can retard the progression, and as we go by that proverb, that is prevention is better than cure, we do have this holistic approach which NephroCare can boast of, particularly combining these physical activities, the yogas, and also the maybe a caring of the mind and the sleep, which Tathagata highlighted right now. So this holistic approach is very, very important, and our main target will be to prevent kidney disease. If at all we encounter a patient with a kidney disease, we will try to detect it early, and we will try to retard the progress, not just for kidney health. Obviously, we know that we should have kidney health for all. That is the target by the International Society of Nephrology, who first actually observed this World Kidney Day in 2006. But the kidney health will be also to save our planet, to save nature. Thank you everybody, and we hope that our efforts will not be limited to a kidney day, it will be a 365-day affair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, I would like to invite Dr. Saurav Shadukhan, sir, on stage for the next speech. Dr. Saurav Shadukhan. A round of applause, please.
That's what you can do.
Good afternoon sir, and good afternoon everyone. So happy World Kidney Day to all. Today I am discussing about very new topic and new subspecialty of the nephrology, that is interventional nephrology. So before going to the main part, I would like to discuss under the following headings. First, I would like to start with some cases, and before cases, for hemodialysis patients, this session is specifically for the hemodialysis and how to improve the quality and access of the hemodialysis patients. So different access are there, from temporary dialysis catheter to arm cath to AV fistula and AV graft. So different complications we have seen in these different types of dialysis access. So how we manage the complications and how we salvage this access. So first case, so this man, 65-year-old man, on hemodialysis for last around 3 years, he presented to us with AV fistula failure for last 3 weeks, and then he had also history of primary AV fistula failure also on the opposite arm. So what did we do? So we did first a good clinical examination, followed by USG Doppler, and then angiography, followed by plastic. So this patient can be managed by both ways. First, if we do immediate fistuloplasty, we can easily start hemodialysis from the next day itself, and this is the best option. And secondly, if we do not salvage the patient immediately, we have to admit the patient, and then we have to create a temporary dialysis access that may lead to loss of permanent access, and this leads to increased patient morbidity and also increased hospitalization. So firstly, in the fistula there was no pulse and no thrill, and in Doppler there was long segment narrowing of the cephalic vein. So this is the AVF. The valvar portion is the AVF, that is radiocephalic fistula, and the segment, that the pencil-like segment, long segment, that is cephalic vein. We can easily understand that blood actually is not flowing through the vein properly. So what did we do? We did a balloon angioplasty, gradual balloon dilatation of the long segment of the vein, and this is the end fistuloplasty angiography we have taken, and now we can see that the blood is flowing smoothly through the vein. And next day itself, after 2 days, we started dialysis from this AV fistula. Secondly, this patient came to us with history of multiple access failure, and 48-year-old woman, he had graft, current access was graft, AV graft, that was from right brachial artery to axillary vein, and she had also history of brachiocephalic venous stenosis on the left side, and stent was there, and stent also has been blocked. So she came with completely thrombosed AV graft. So this is the angiography we had taken from the AV graft. We can see that the graft and axillary vein junction is completely thrombosed, and there is no no segment we can see the dye actually not going through the axillary vein. Next, we did cross the thrombosed part and through the cephalic, through the axillary vein into the SBC and then into the right atrium. And after that, with this device, that is mechanical thrombectomy device named as Cleaner XT, we did complete thrombectomy of the AV graft segment. And after that, the flow was reversed. And this is the end procedure, AV fistulography, AV graft angiography. We can see that the blood flow is flowing nicely into the axillary vein. And third case, this man presented to us massive left arm swelling. And see, he is on hemodialysis for last around 5 years, and he had history of left brachiocephalic vein, brachiocephalic AV fistula, and also had multiple temporary access in the left side. So, in the first presentation, the primary diagnosis will be always central venous stenosis. So, we did first angiography. Here you can see that there is a tight stricture at the junction of the brachiocephalic vein and SVC. And we did balloon angioplasty followed by angiography at the end of the angioplasty. Here you can see that the stricture has gone and blood flowing nicely through the brachiocephalic vein into SVC. And after that, after 1 week or so, the patient, the swelling had reduced and we can start dialysis from the fistula itself. Similar cases, here also there was subclavian venous stenosis and we did angioplasty. The flow reversed, but the flow was not sufficient actually after angioplasty. So we did the stent. This is our one of our patients. We did 4 times angioplasty. On first APF angioplasty, then in the central vein part, and the third time after doing third time angioplasty, the symptoms had gone, and now almost 1 year have passed. The patient is now very nice, and we can easily dialyze through the brachiobasilic fistula. So similar cases, this is the case of CTO, chronic total occlusion of the brachiocephalic vein, and we crossed the lesion, we did balloon angioplasty, and after that the flow has reversed. Similar cases, here the cephalic vein is like string-like, we did completely thrombosed, we did angioplasty and flow has reversed. So why this is important? This is important because for dialysis patient to have good quality of dialysis, we need a proper dialysis access. So if we do not provide a proper dialysis access, the quality will be much worse and for the patient, and it will lead to poor outcome and poor quality of life. So what is interventional nephrology? It is basically a subspecialty. What we do, basically we do different types of angiography and angioplasty in the AVF, in the AV graft, and also renal artery angiography and plasty. Where needed, we put stent, also renal artery coiling, PD catheter insertion, and thrombectomy. So if we look at the history, it was 1945 when this man, Mr. William Wolf, who discovered first dialysis machine, and after that, this is the first AV shunt, that Scribner shunt through which the AV fistula was done, and this man Sheldon first discovered the temporary dialysis catheter, and after that, Tenkov, he was the father of PD, because he first invented the Tenkov PD catheter, and this is so popular, we even now are being used it, and this man, Criminal Garcia, he discovered how to create natural AV fistula, and this man, Robert Gould, his first invention was how to create AV graft material. Later on, this man Stephen has learned how to put bedside PD catheter insertion percutaneously, and followed by different endovascular techniques were invented. And he is the father of interventional nephrology, Mr. Bidhart. He first learned and then trained the fellows, and in 2000, American Society of Diagnostic and Interventional Nephrology was established. So we generally, this is the USG guided procedures, interventional procedures, where the narrowing is very focal, and where we can use the angioplasty, we can do the angioplasty procedures only by USG guided without any support of cath lab. This is the USG image of the stricture, and the balloon is being inflated. This is the post-angioplasty Doppler showing good flow, and this is the axis, minimal invasive surgery. This is the axis through which all the interventions are done. So this is the venous stricture, and balloon is being inflated through the venous stricture. This is the USG Doppler image. So our data was published 2 years back. So another thing is endovascular AVF. Although it is not available in India, we can create epifistula in the deep venous system and the artery without need for open surgery. But main thing is that patent perforator vein is the main criteria. So two systems are there. First is wave link. Here first the brachial vein axis from upper arm has to be taken, and then from ulnar artery axis we have to pass where through the both brachial vein and the ulnar artery, and then this magnetic device with rotational indicators and electrode saddle is there, and after proper alignment we can activate this electrode saddle, and thereby AVF is created, and whenever necessary we have to embolize the deep vein to divert more flow in the superficial veins. So the main contraindication is that the venous diameter and arterial diameter should be the first criteria more than 2 mm. And another thing is that above all, when we do angioplasty, the main complication is the restenosis and restricture. So drug coated balloon we can use in those cases, either coated with sirolimus or paclitaxel or any other anti-proliferative agent. When we use these balloons we have shown, different studies have shown that these balloon use minimizes inflammation, and we can easily delay the restenosis rate. Another thing is the hero graft, hemodialysis reliable outflow graft. This thing is new, and we can use the access crisis patients, we can use this graft. So it has two segments. One is the arterial side and another is into the right atrium. One is graft component and another is outflow component. It connects directly to the brachial artery and to the SBC into the right atrium. Another important thing is bioengineered AV graft. Lots of work is now going on this thing. Conventionally we use PTFE graft, but there are many complications with the AV graft like thrombosis and issues with long-term patency. And here the human acellular vessels are cultured and first separated, then decellularized and made on a matrix like this, and this bioengineered AV graft then positioned into the between the artery and vein. So these are some. This is safe and well tolerated and durable, and different studies have shown that there is no significant immunogenic potential, and this withstands repeated cannulation without any aneurysm or structural degradation, and this may be in future have suitable conduit for dialysis access. So in conclusion, this is a growing branch, and different types of angioplasty and procedures have good outcome with minimal adverse events, and these procedures have key role in dialysis access management and salvage, but early detection of the complications of any dialysis access is the priority, different RCTs are needed in future, like newer epigraph, like bioengineered epigraph, and with endovascular AVF creation. Thank you.
Actually, Shodav is doing great work in the sense, interventional nephrology, which is a very new discipline, and he has taken the leadership and doing very good work. Thank you, Shodav. So now it's time to, should I speak or Prabhat? So Prabhat, please come. Prabhat will talk about Dr. Prabhat Bansali, another youngster, rising star, smiling rising star in nephrology. We'll speak about nephrology beyond dialysis. Okay, please.
Thank you, sir, for such a kind introduction. Can we pull up the slides? Okay, yeah, it is there. So, whenever a patient is referred to nephrology, what is the first thing that comes to mind? For anybody. Don't worry, you're not alone. I also used to think the same, dialysis. So, before obviously DM. So, after doing my DM in nephrology, now I know that nephrology is much beyond dialysis. So let me talk about this. Okay, so let me go to the history. So nephrology started in 1943 when William PROF discovered the first dialysis machine. Before that, if any patient used to come with renal failure, it was a death certificate for them. And after the discovery of dialysis machine in 1943 by William PROF, now we have reached to 2024 where xenotransplant is a thing. And in between, in 2010, we discovered the bioartificial kidney, and in 1971, it was the first transplant which was done in India. In 1954, first kidney transplant was done by Joseph Murray, and now we are in a xenotransplantation era. So, what are the things in nephrology which is beyond dialysis? Let me discuss about that. First, we come to intervention nephrology. My esteemed colleague Dr. Saab has already spoken about this, so let me just briefly go through this one. So, these intervention nephrology involves all the procedures which are related to nephrology, like AV fistula creation, like peritoneal dialysis catheter insertion, like kidney biopsies, like endovascular interventions called AV vascular accesses, and the tunnel catheter insertions. So yes, this is my picture. Nephrologists they do fistulas, they do peritoneal dialysis catheter insertions, they do endovascular procedures. These are all under intervention nephrology, which Dr. Shaw has already spoken about. And for dialysis patient, vascular access plays a major role, as you all know, because it can be considered lifeline to the patients. So yes, it is the lifeline to the patient, and saving it is very important. A new access creation takes time. It takes about 3 months to mature. So whenever there is an issue with the fistula, it is just like issue in the heart. It is a lifeline for the patient. So we should go for endovascular procedure, and we try to salvage all the vascular access which can be salvaged. And Dr. Saab has already gone through this, so I'll just skip this. So conservative nephrology. Whenever some patient comes to me, raised creatinine, अब तो dialysis होगा, क्या कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? But that is not the case right now. So conservative nephrology is a field where we try to maintain your kidney health in that same status, or we can try to save it also by using 4 lifestyle interventions. Sir spoke about 7 Ds already, but I think these 4 are the major ones. So these are the medicines, exercise, diet, and regular follow-up. These are the 4 pillars of health. So we should always follow this to maintain our kidney health to the optimist. So yeah, in the medicine part, we come to these 4 pillars, which are these 4 drugs, which are the RAS inhibitors, the SGLT2 inhibitors, the MRAs, and the GLP-1 LDO, which has been added recently. These 4 pillars these 4 medicines can help to maintain your kidney health to a maximum. So yeah, so it is very necessary whenever there is a rage getting, when there is a risk to your health, to your kidney health, we should avoid the over-the-counter drugs. It is very common practice here in India that we go to a pharmacy shop, we ask them, is it audible? Yeah. So we go to the counters, we go to the pharmacy shop, we ask for medicines and we gulp it down. It's a bad practice actually. So all the drugs can cause inadvertent problems in your kidney, and obviously we all know that painkillers are major problems which can cause a risk to your kidneys. And obviously there should be a restriction in most of the cases, restriction of salt intake in most of the cases. And yeah, if there are so many patients who comes to me with raised creatinine, they are saying that now I have seen allopathy, I have seen Ayurvedic, I have seen homeopathy, let us try all these together and it will be a triple effect. My creatinine will be 1 by maybe a month. So what happens is that the kidney injury triples. So avoid this mixopathy in all way possible. So mixopathy is basically putting all these drugs, having all these drugs together, and it does not work that way, that it will decrease in a triple way, but in fact it increases, it is the other way around. So critical care nephrology, this is another part of nephrology where we come in. So it deals with nephrology in all the acute settings and ICU settings. So we get referrals from ICU. These are all for the primary care physicians. We do get referrals from ICUs and all when there is a raised creatinine. But we should. But there is a concept of augmented renal clearance. What is augmented renal clearance? So there is a lot of factors in ICU like using vasopressors, using other drugs which can cause an increase in renal clearance in ICUs, and these has to be recognized early because there are many therapeutic drugs which we give has to have a proper dosing. So whenever there is an augmented renal clearance, the creatinine goes down, and we don't get referrals in that cases. Acha, creatinine to kam ho gaya, why should we refer? But it should be referred, that these cases should also be referred whenever there is a fall in creatinine, because it shows that there is an augmented renal clearance and the dose of antibiotics and other therapeutic drugs has to be increased in these cases. Obviously, we do get referrals for hospital-acquired AKI, that's fine. And the hospital-acquired AKI has a very bad mortality. That is a 75% mortality, which is significantly higher than the surgical and the medical units. Early detection of AKI, yeah. So creatinine is not a very good marker to detect AKI in hospital settings. So we do use these NephroCheck devices. These are sophisticated devices which uses urinary biomarkers like TIMP2 and IGF-P7, and these are the first markers to rise, and we should use this to detect the AKI and treat accordingly. So whenever somebody says dialysis, it comes out to our mind that mera to kidney gaya, but most of the time is this the case? That is the case, but not all the time. So dialysis can be used to prevent kidney injuries also, like cast nephropathy in multiple myeloma can be prevented using the dialysis called Theranova. Rhabdomyolysis can be prevented. We use dialysis to decrease the poisoning cases, paraquat poisoning cases, to decrease the level of paraquat in the system, and also it can be used in other overdoses also, these dialysis machines. These are the other filters which we use in case to prevent the acute kidney injury. Dialysis it's not necessary that dialysis is used just for the kidney part. It can be used in liver as well, as a support therapy for liver as well, and also to remove endotoxin and cytotoxin if the sepsis levels are, the cytokines levels are very high. So these are the other uses of the other type of dialysis which supports your liver, which supports your lung. Let me now come to the bioartificial kidney. What is this? It is of two types. One is the wearable artificial kidneys, one is the implantable bioartificial kidneys. These all work with the same principles which are kidney works, filtration and tubular absorption, like that. So these are schematic representation of the wearable kidney disease. Let me not go into the details. This device is just about 5 kgs. It can be worn on your like an abdominal belt, and patient can go around having their daily activities. So the principles, I'll just talk about briefly about the principles. So it uses the polysulfone high flux dialyzer, and the approx blood volume in the circuit is 65 ml, and the dialysis circuit is around 375 ml. It's a pulsatile pulp powered by 9-volt battery that propels the blood to the dialysis, and that is the same concept. It's just the dialysis machine compacted. So this is a patient who is wearing a wearable kidney device. So let me come to another device, which is the implantable bioartificial kidney. So it is a device that can be put inside you, and it works with the same principle. There is a bioreactor which acts as a kidney epithelial cell which mimics your tubular functions, and there is a hemofilter. It's nanotechnology, and it can be inserted inside your body, and you can have continued dialysis with the help of these machines. Let me come to kidney on chip. So this is an artificially grown culture of kidney cells, which is still in the nascent phase. We use pluripotent stem cells to produce kidney on chip. One is a glomerular kidney on the glomerular part, and one is a tubular part. Combining this, we can have a result which can mimic the kidney, and with the help of 3D bioprinting, we can have a functioning kidney. But this is in the nascent phase. This is just in the research phase right now. Xenotransplant. So what is xenotransplant? This is when another species other than the Homo sapiens, which kidney it can be transplanted to us, and that constitutes the xenotransplant. So in this case, we use pig kidney, and what is the use of needing this? Because the demand is so high for kidneys and the supply is so less. So we need to find another modality which can help us in reducing that demand. So that where the pig comes in, and this is a genetically engineered pig with all this alpha-galin gene, which is the most active in rejecting your kidney, has been removed through CRISPR technique, and then there are some human genes which has been inserted. We take care of some viruses like porcine retroviral and all, and then we can have this kidney transplanted. So it has already been done in a live patient. Previously it was done for brain dead patients in Massachusetts, and now it has been done in a live patient also. This patient survived for 2 months after getting a pig kidney. So that's a huge achievement for us. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu, for opening the bigger horizon of nephrology. Ladies and gentlemen, I can request all of you, those who are sitting in the back bench, to come forward, because we have a very interesting meditation session conducted by Shubhruto Bhattacharya, because a lot of information has loaded your lot of brain cells. fired a lot of frontal lobe cells, and I believe those things like soda has shown so many interventions, soda has shown so many new things. These are all started some kind of sympathetic activities, stress will be high, and that will be reduced by the flow load. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, now this is another 2 neck-to-neck lectures will be delivered by me. One is when we look at the kidney disease, how we should have a holistic interpretation of the health. I can see the confectionery and the, I think all the food court is open, so a lot of people have gone outside. खाना खाने के बाद meditation नहीं होगा, नींद आ जाएगा, ठीक है? सब सामने आ जाओ. Anyway, so today in this session we'll discuss for total assessment of the kidney health. It is not simply the urea creatinine or EGFR or proteinuria. We have to go much deeper. So that is the area where we'll discuss about for a comprehensive assessment of a person, not simply the kidney, which is suffering from kidney disease, what are the things are necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that kidney disease has a lot of interconnection with the other organs. We call it organ crosstalk. What does the organ crosstalk means? For example, if you look at NephroCare or look at kidney care, while you all together work, there are so many functions are happening. Somebody in the front desk, somebody doing ultrasound, and these are all interconnected for the overall health. Same thing happens in our body. Kidney has a direct connection with the lung function, heart function, brain function. Bone, we all know, it has a tremendous function of maintaining the bone health, and also the gut, intestine, muscle, and also the endocrine system also. So, the organ health screening is extremely important for combating the sufferings of chronic kidney disease. It is not simply because of urea creatinine, rather it is much deeper. So when we handle a kidney disease patient, we need to understand the overall health of the person, not only the kidney health, but we have to look beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, so most important thing is cardiac evaluation, metabolic and the liver evaluation, vascular and autonomic nervous system evaluation, and obviously you have to look for the different endocrine system including the bone health. So whenever we look at the cardiac evaluation, we need to understand the heart anatomy, rhythm. We have to evaluate whether there is some subtle ischemic evidence going on, and also we have to understand the hemodynamics. For that, we do echocardiography. Ladies and gentlemen, we all need to understand the risk of heart attack is 20 times more in a chronic kidney disease patient in comparison with the other. And we recommend once in 6 months a cardiovascular screening need to be done. In echocardiography, there are so many things we look, but the most important is the left ventricular ejection fraction, whether there is any hypertrophy, diastolic dysfunction. These are subtle change. We are always used to see echo report, but interpreting echo report and going in depth of that and connecting with the patient needs some kind of maturity and some kind of experience. Then obviously EKG is the most important thing to understand the rhythm. We go for coronary angiography to understand the how an luminal anatomy of different vessel works. In this regard, I must tell you, the basic fear in the chronic kidney disease is when we expose somebody in the time for coronary angiography, the creatinine may go up. To mitigate that thing, in our hospital university, we have taken the 3D rotational angiography. So today, I'll explain one of the very rotational angiography, the benefit is this angiography machine, their imaging can be done with a very limited time. So today, I'll explain one of the very important facilities of our cath lab, that is as well as C20, that is rotational scanning. What is rotational scanning means? Ladies and gentlemen, I think you all are aware, the biggest challenge why we are doing angiography, angioplasty, any cath lab procedure is the exposure to the dye and the exposure to the radiations. What happens in renal failure when the creatinine is slightly raised, for getting a detailed picture of the coronary arteries from the different angles, we need at least 10 to 15 shots from the cranial and the caudals, the different angles. And for each shots we take, we have to push some amount of dye, some amount of the dye, and those dye gets accumulated and we get the image. But cardiologists are happy, but we are unhappy. Why? Because this dye ultimately lands to some form of chronic kidney disease, some form of acute kidney injury. We call it contrast-induced nephrology. This rotational angio, what it does, we can do the angiography with a very minimal dye. I think Dr. Vijay, you were there. How much dye we need for angiography? Maximum 30 ml. And there are a few incidences where Professor Division has done some angio with 7 ml dye. Because in rotation, you need one base image, one caudal, and one cranial, and you can reconstruct the 3D image. So it is an advantage where with minimal dye, you can do the angiography. So the patients with the creatinine 1.5, 1.6, while we are in dilemma, whether it can cause to the contrast-induced nephropathy or not, these angio facility where the rotational image can be taken, we can do the entire imaging of the lumens with a very minimal vessel and minimal time as well. Next important thing is blood pressure control, and here ambulatory blood pressure monitoring plays a very, very important role. Unfortunately, I have seen a lot of time we do the ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, but we do not interpret the result. I recommend all of you, especially the doctors, the physician assistants, those who are there, during ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, please ask to the patient and their family member to monitor and mention the drug doses and timing and correlate that ambulatory blood pressure chart with the medicine intake timing to understand efficacy of the drug, how long it is happening, any kind of heart rate variability is happening or not, which is often not done because it takes a lot of time. There are some software which I have seen recently, I'm about to purchase that thing, which gives a very beautiful interpretation, AI algorithm based, the interpretation of ambulatory blood pressure monitor. 99% cases I have seen, people does the ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, they come to the clinic and they continue the same medicine. Nobody follows up exactly what is happening to that. So we have to be very sincere and serious about interpreting the ambulatory blood pressure because every person responds in a different way to antihypertensive drug. Liver assessment is very important. Of late, we are going to publish the first paper from the NephroCare. We have right now 4,500 fibroscan report is ready with us. We are analyzing those data. Chinmay is doing the great work. We are trying to understand the different stages of the CKD and whether diabetes and without diabetes, how it is impacting the fibrotic element in the liver. So that we are trying to collaborate. The data analysis is going on. Hopefully, Chinmay, can you tell me what is the tentative timeline we can come out to the first manuscript of this?
The data analysis will take another 1 month of time.
Another 1 month. So, our observation is the patient has erectly normal, ultrasound, slightly fatty liver, but even the fibroscan is showing very advanced. Yes, please.
Just an idea came into my mind, a wild idea. I'm sure you are using some synthetic dyes.
Can you give me, hello, can you give the microphone?
Just a wild thought came into my mind. You mentioned about tracking with dyes. I presume they are synthetic dyes.
Exactly, the dye what we use while imaging the vessel and dye what we use coloring our dresses, hairs is totally different. The imaging of the vessel, it is done with some kind of molecule which is radio opaque and which is not harmful for the body. For all kind of imaging, usually we use iodine based dye. Iodine is a molecule which looks black in X-ray. So you have to think, because when we are imaging a lumen, there is a blood is flowing continuously. So when blood is going inside the vessel, we have to take an X-ray, and the agent which are passing to the blood has to be biocompatible. It should not react with the cells and it should not cause any harm in the body. Then that is considered as a radiographic dye. So with a lot of research, iodine is considered one molecule which is radio opaque, and when it is injected in some kind of
osmolar form, it creates a luminal image and that can be taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, because iodine causes vasoconstriction, henceforth a lot of contrast-induced nephropathy, we tried with iron. So I have a case report privileged where as we give injectable iron, so why not to check whether the iron can be considered as one alternative diet, because iron is otherwise natural or therapeutically accepted molecule which is also radiopaque.
How about some dyes with some vegetable origin?
Vegetable origin is not radiopaque.
Okay.
It has to be radiopaque, or else you cannot do it. It is good for skinning, coloring dresses and all this stuff, t-shirts, not the blood vessels. Okay. So iron, this is a very good idea, and we can talk on this. I tried with iron injecting in the fistula and to see how the image comes. Okay. Now the problem is, with the bigger vessels, it can give some kind of faint image. But in the cardiac imaging, when we used to give too much of iron, there was some kind of vasoconstriction was happening. So ultimately it did not work. Maybe some kind of molecules or modification of iron could be done to do that. So coming to the next stage, this fibroscan, it gives a tremendous, as I was discussing. A lot of time we encounter in a situation where the KPA value, that means which measures the stiffness of the liver, is quite high, even the LFT is normal, or the per 100 gram tissue fat content is high. These are the scenario where the metabolism of his drug is defective, the patient have a low albumin response and it is harmful. So we have to be very careful. And sometimes patient coming for transplants, otherwise absolutely normal, no hepatotropic virus is positive, but we find metabolic syndrome or CKD associated CKD is so advanced, we have to think twice whether we can do the transplant or not. So coming to the metabolic capacity or the metabolic activity, this is something new which we are trying to do. I did my own RMR testing few days back. RMR is amazing data is coming out. This is some area where the clinicians of our age do not know, and I believe we are the first in this world who are working on this field to interpret or to extrapolate some data and to come out some meaningful implementation in terms of nutrition and intervention in patients' life. Ladies and gentlemen, please see, this is the report came of my RMR. I don't know if it's visible or not. It gave me the entire metabolic set points. It gave me the entire metabolic flexibility assessment. How much calorie I can absorb, which will not cause any problem. It gave me the substrate utilization rate at rest. When I'm sleeping, whether I utilize or I take majority of my calorie required in my brain or my autonomic function to go from carbohydrate, from fat or from the proteins, that is equally. It measured the respiratory quotient and how much carbon dioxide I burn after utilizing the oxygen. So it is a fantastic thing. It could be looked in a multiple angle, in a multiple ways to give us a new arena of the metabolic assessment, which we did with a lot of patients. Another thing, those who do not know, now we have onboarded an exercise physiologist in our team. Mr. Somajit is a trained exercise physiologist from All India Institute of Medical Science. He has joined as a full-time, and he is serving our patient to do all this metabolic assessment, including RMR, including VO2 max, to understand the fitness level, to understand how much oxygen somebody can consume, what is the rate of carbon dioxide production, and what is the maximum stretchable capacity by which to. Why it is important? Because I know in CKD patients, they have a compromised heart, they have a compromised respiratory function. So, exercise korun, bolle ki ho jaye, it says nothing. You have to quantify what should be his exercise limit, how many steps. If he runs in in treadmill, at what speed. If he does some cycling, how many cycle, how many repetition do, at what resistance. That can be quantifiably measured and we can objectively monitor the progress. What type of exercise? Will he focus on the strength training or will he focus on resistant exercise? Will he focus on the flexibility exercise? What should be his pattern for the breathing? How we can improve his lung capacity? These are the things is now readily and objective level to us. We can utilize it for the better. Body composition, it is to some extent now become regular in nephrology, but it is not simply the private calculation.
we have to look for lean tissue intensity, we have to look for muscle mass index, fat mass index, which will give us more nutritional composite idea. So it can give us a lot of areas for the nutritional management of the CKD patients. DEXA scan is often neglected in chronic kidney disease. I don't know why. Hardly we prescribe DEXA scan, but it is necessary to understand the bone density. It is necessary to understand the osteoporotic nature. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people don't know. A large number of patients who are osteoporotic have a tendency for recurrent hyponatremia because bone is a major sodium storehouse. We often miss it. We are publishing one paper with the DEXA and the connection with hyponatremia per se. And it has been seen the people who are osteoporotic, they are more prone for hyponatremia. So this is some kind of bone health. We recommend skinning for the bone health. Next is the neurological evaluation. This is very important. Kidney and brain has a very strong connection. When kidney is not working well, our nervous system also falls sick. Be it memory, be it sleep quality, be it our neuroplasticity. A patient with a CKD, if he comes in the stroke, his recovery is delayed. On the contrary, a healthy person can recover from the stroke. So we need to be careful about that. Same with the nerve conduction velocity need to be checked. Autonomic nervous system is another arena which gets very, very defective. And kidney care and NephroCare is the only institute so far I know in this country who does regularly pseudoscan monitoring. And we are going to publish how it is going to help us in prescribing different medication. For example, drugs which are alpha blocker has a tendency for rapid blood pressure fall if you have an advanced autonomic neuropathy. That can be treated, and we have no treatment for the autonomic neuropathy except some yogic intervention, what we do through mantra and everything. This is some of the pictures of the pseudoscan, what we do, and also we have a diabetic food screening facility, especially diabetic patients. They have a tendency for impaired small fiber and the large fiber functionality leading to some kind of neuropathy. So we have to be very careful to monitoring this to protect the diabetic food. Sleep already, to some extent it has been emphasized by the Tathagata, the importance of the sleep in maintenance of the hypertension, proteinuria and CKD progression. If sleep is not well, then obviously there is a time in the night when your cortisol response will be high, your sympathetic level should be high. So sleep is mandatory. Now sleep is a complex area. Ladies and gentlemen, when I focus on the sleep, I get lost. There are so many things we don't know about the sleep. We are taught in the physiology only the 3 and 4 stages of sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, there are much more to be explored. Because in ancient Indian time, when there was no so-called polysomnography, mapping of the brain waves, it was understood that there are the 4 different stages of consciousness. Somebody is awake, somebody is sleeping but dreaming, and somebody is in the stage of turiya. So this 4 stage are nothing but the different 4 modes of the brain in functioning in the 4 different ways. A person who is awake, he feels that this world is real. And the same person, when he is dreaming, he feels that dreaming world is real. The only difference is the continuity of the awake states is maintained while the dreaming state is fragmented. Few days back, I watched a beautiful football match and then hit the wall just behind of my bed, thinking kicking a ball and fractured my patella. So this happened in my life. So that dream was so alive and so vivid that I kicked the ball and it hurt me. Okay. So we do not know exactly why this thing happens. There are a lot of researches going on. Today I don't have time, or else it demands a huge exploration from the medical science to go in depth to understand the different nuances of the sleep and how sleep can help us to regenerate or reduce the sympathetic overdrive, cortisol secretion. This is tremendous benefit. We take mineral to reduce the effect of mineralocorticoid. So that's the end effect. And if you sleep well, then naturally the secretion of mineralocorticoid will be less. So we have a natural phenomenon within us, provided we know how to sleep well. So that's the thing we need to focus on. Again, the most important thing is retinopathy screening, because a lot of patients who have diabetes, they have a tendency to develop microvascular complications. In presence of CKD, that tendency of leaky capillaries become more. It is not because simply the diabetic effect. The uremia also has some kind of impact on endothelial gap junction, leading to the leaky capillaries. Vascular risk, we need to monitor the atherosclerotic burden, especially in the carotid arteries, because these are the areas from where a small plaque can dislodge and lead to the stroke, which is very bad complications. And henceforth, carotid Doppler is one very important assessment tool for anybody who is diabetic and advanced CKD to look for what's going on. Pulmonary health is also connected with the kidney health, because we know lung and kidney, these two organs work in synergy. We call these two organs work together to maintain the acid-base balance in our body. All the volatile metabolic waste taken care of by lung, water solubles are taken by the kidney. And in absence of one function not well, we have the capacity to improve the lung function, and that to some extent support to maintain the acid-base balance and some other issues in our body. Pulmonary function test is very important. We have to do routine pulmonary function test combined with arterial blood gas analysis. It gives us a tremendous arena to understand how co-adapted the patient is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the people who practices Mukti, those who have a very improved lung reserve capacity, they can tolerate advanced kidney disease, probably by having a buffering mechanism by addressing the carbon dioxide load, which otherwise accumulates in the person who is suffering from chronic kidney disease. So, integrating the findings is most important. Patient who is suffering from chronic kidney disease should not be dealt only with the creatinine, urea, urine ACR and the ultrasound. We need to look beyond the kidney. We need to look at holistic integrated health function. We need to do a organ screening, and organ screening will deliver the organ risk profiling. And based on that, we have to design not only the therapeutic regime, the nutrition and the lifestyle intervention regime. Then only you can expect something good. And that's what we do in NephroCare, and that's what something special which we do other than any other nephrology centers. Thank you very much for patience hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, today this is a very important World Kidney Day, and I am very happy to announce the Professor Pratim, who is the head of the department and cardiovascular science of IPGM at SSKM Hospital, who is one of the magical surgeons. His fingers and hands are just placed like a magician loaded it. So Sir is with us. Sir is a very serious researcher. He does a fantastic work. He developed first artificial heart, valve, with the fascia lata, that means one fascia of the thigh. He made his own dies and created some kind of artificial aortic valve, artificial mitral valve, and that has been implemented successfully. And because it is an autologous, the patient does not need any immunosuppression or any kind of simple ecospleen will do. And cost, a valve when you purchase costs 3.5 lakh rupees, and this valve cost 15 rupees, because the cost of formalin is the only cost. Give a big hand for Professor Kolkata. I'll invite Sir to on the dais to speak something about inauguration. Thank you very much.
ওয়ার্ল্ড কিডনি ডেতে সকলকে স্বাগত। যেগুলো আমার সম্বন্ধে বললো দু একটা কথা বলি, সেটা কারেকশন হচ্ছে ওটা ফ্যাসালাটা নয়, ওটা হচ্ছে পেরিকার্ডিয়াম বলা হয়। আমাদের যে হার্টটা রয়েছে, হার্টের চারদিকে জাস্ট একটা ব্যাগের মতো জিনিস থাকে, যার ভেতরে হার্টটা নড়াচড়া করে। সেই ব্যাগের ওই থলিটা থেকে ওই ভালভটা তৈরি করা নতুন কিছু নয়, অনেকদিন আগেই এটাকে তৈরি করা শুরু হয়েছিল। এটা স্পেশালিটি হচ্ছে যে ইট উইল অ্যাক্ট অ্যাজ এ নর্মাল ভালভ। ডিউরেশনটা নর্মাল ভালভের মতো নয়, 15 বছরের মতো চলবে, এবং কস্ট হচ্ছে মিনিমাম। আর্টিফিশিয়াল ভালভ আপনি কিনতে গেলে 1 থেকে 1.5 লাখ টাকা লাগে। আর টিস্যু ভালভ বলে আরেকটা ভালভ আছে, সেই ভালভটা নিতে গেলে আপনার মিনিমাম দাম হচ্ছে 3.5 লাখ টাকা। আর এখানে ওই কয়েক হাজার টাকা, কয়েকটা সুতো লাগে আর একটা কেমিক্যাল লাগে, ফিউ অ্যামাউন্ট। এটা দিয়ে মানুষের দুটো চারটে ভালভের মধ্যে 3টে ভালভ তৈরি করে দেওয়া যায়। 3টে ভালভই আমরা তৈরি করি, আর চতুর্থটা চেষ্টা চলছে, এইটুকু বলতে পারি।
Well, in the fag end of the program, before I finish, I have one fantastic guy, very slow but steady, Mr. Saptoshi Chaudhary. Saptoshi Dada, where are you? Please, can anybody invite Saptoshi? So, you know, we all heard about the rabbit and crocodile story. So, where is Saptoshi?
It's coming, sir.
Saptoshi is coming. So, my team will tell you, Saptoshi does a fantastic work. Our entire NephroCare ecosystem, everything has been designed by Saptoshi. But he's steady. And he runs in a very steady but slow pace. But of late, we developed a marvelous thing by the help of Saptoshi. So Saptoshi today will show us something about the NephroCare app, which we developed over the last 2.5 years, I believe. So it took roughly 2 years to develop that thing. The beauty of this app is not any other app. This app has a total integration of the database. This app will give us tremendous benefit in terms of the entire patient care system. The patient who is in the NephroCare universe, entire trajectory of his course, progress, everything will be tracked, mapped through this app. So all credit goes to Saptoshi. I was just a mastermind of giving some of the ideas, what are the things to be done. And through this app, anybody and everybody who is in our NephroCare ecosystem, they can book their appointment, they can order their medicine, they can change their appointment, they can consult online, offline, they can have the pharmacy stocks revealed, they can monitor all the daily vitals, and that all the data will come us. Very soon, we are going to set up our control room. The control room means there will be one area where 2 or 4 screen, somebody of us, medical professionals, paramedic professionals, they could monitor what's going on each and every patient, because this will be integrated with the CGM, and we are developing a urine sensor. So anybody who pees, the automatic volume will be measured and come through the app to our system. So for post-transplant patient, monitoring urine becomes challenge. So now with this app and with the urine sensor what KOUSHIK and team has developed, once we integrate both, nobody has to pee in the pot, check how much, write in the diary and inform to Dr. Sengupta or our team, okay, today I have passed 3 liters. Every urine you pass will be dynamically recorded and updated in the system. So these are the facilities we are bringing in this NephroCare NCI lab. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Saptoshi Sahab will give us some idea and some input and something about this. So over to Saptoshi.
নমস্কার সকলকে, এখানে উপস্থিত যারা ডক্টর আছেন তাদেরকে আজকে কিডনিতে বেশি করে দরকার আমাদের থেকেও, তারপরে তারাই আমাদেরকে পথ দেখাবে যাতে আমাদের সবাই কিডনি সুস্থ থাকে এবং আমরা আমাদের যা যে নিজের কাজ আছে সেগুলো করতে পারি। তা আমাদের এই আমরা যে অ্যাপটা তৈরি করেছি সেই অ্যাপটা আমরা জানি যে কোভিডের পর থেকে, কোভিডের সময় থেকে আমরা খুব ভালো করে বুঝতে পেরেছি যে মানুষ অনলাইনের উপর খুব নির্ভরশীল হয়ে গেছে। আমরা যতটা যদি বাইরে না গিয়ে কোনো কাজ করতে পারি তাহলে সেটা মনে হয় আমাদের পক্ষে খুব সুবিধা। আর যারা এখানে কিডনি পেশেন্ট বা যে কোনো পেশেন্টই হোক, তাদের অনেক কিছু থাকে যেটা হয়তো তারা দূরে গিয়ে কোনো ডক্টরের কাছে দেখানো বা কোনো ক্লিনিক্যাল কোনো ফেসিলিটি নিতে গেলে তার প্রবলেম হতে পারে, তাহলে সেটা যদি সে বাড়ি থেকে করতে পারে তাহলে এটার থেকে আমার মনে হয় সবচেয়ে ভালো জিনিস আর কিছু হয় না। এটাই আমাদের একটা ভালো জিনিস তাদের কাছে পৌঁছে দেওয়াটাই। আমাদের এই অ্যাপটির মধ্যে যে কোনো কেউ আমাদের নিজস্ব যারা এক্সিস্টিং পেশেন্ট আছে তারাও লগ ইন করতে পারে, অন্য কোনো কেউ লগ ইন করতে পারে, তারা একজন ইউজার গেস্ট হিসাবে লগ ইন করতে পারে। লগ ইন করাটা খুব সোজা। সে একটা তার নির্দিষ্ট মোবাইল নম্বর দেবে, মোবাইল নম্বরটা দিলে পরে মোবাইল নম্বরটা সিকিউর মোবাইল নম্বরটা ভেরিফাই হবে, ভেরিফাই হওয়ার পর ওটিপি ভেরিফাই হওয়ার পরে এখানে সে লগ ইন করতে পারবে। এই লগ ইন করার পরে এবার দেখা গেল কোনো একজন পেশেন্ট আমাদের এখানে দেখায়, তার সমস্ত মেডিকেল রেকর্ডটা আমাদের কাছে আছে, তাহলে এই পেশেন্টটার সঙ্গে নিজেকে তাকে ট্যাগ করে নিতে হবে। আমরা এই প্ল্যাটফর্ম থেকে আমরা এখানে এখানে আমরা পেশেন্টের এনগেজমেন্টটাকে ইমপ্রুভ করতে পারি। কীরকম এনগেজমেন্টে ইমপ্রুভ করতে পারি? স্যার হয়তো কাউকে বললো বা কোনো পেশেন্টকে যখন বলা হয় যে আপনি ব্লাড প্রেশারটা অথবা গ্লুকোজটা এটা আপনি মনিটরিং করবেন, কিন্তু সে মনিটরিং করবে নির্দিষ্ট টাইমে লিখে রাখবে এটার থেকে, নির্দিষ্ট টাইমে লিখে থাকবে এটার থেকে, সে যদি অ্যাপটা ইউজ করলে পরে সেখানে সে খুব সহজেই রেকর্ড করে রাখতে পারবে এবং সেই রেকর্ডটার সে একটা ট্রেন্ডও পেয়ে যাবে যে তার মনিটরিংটা, তার ট্র্যাকিংটা তার কীরকমভাবে হচ্ছে, এবং ওই পুরো রেকর্ডটাই আমাদের এন্ডে চলে আসে। আমাদের এখানে যারা কনসালটেশন বা হিস্ট্রি দিচ্ছেন তাদের পক্ষেও সেটা দেখতে খুব সুবিধা হয়। এটা গেল ওটিপি ভেরিফিকেশন। এবার আমাদের এই অ্যাপটির মধ্যে প্রথম ফেসিলিটি আছে ডক্টর কনসালটেশন বুকিং করা, অনলাইন এবং ক্লিনিক ভিজিট করেও কেউ বুক করতে পারে, অনলাইনে কেউ বুক করতে পারে, দুটোই এখান থেকে করতে পারে। এখান থেকে বুকিং করার পর রিকোয়েস্ট আসতে পারে, আমাদের যারা স্টাফ আছেন তারা তাদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করে তাকে স্লটটা বুক করে দেবে। এখান থেকে ল্যাব টেস্ট করা যায়, এখানে ল্যাব টেস্টটা হোম কালেকশনের থ্রুতেও হবে, অথবা যদি কেউ মনে করে ক্লিনিকে এসে স্যাম্পেলটা দিয়ে টেস্ট করাবে তাহলে সেটাও তার পক্ষে সম্ভব। এখানে মেডিসিন অর্ডারটা করতে পারে, মেডিসিনের রিকোয়েস্ট করতে পারে। আমাদের এখান থেকে যারা ফার্মাসি ডিপার্টমেন্ট আছে তারা মেডিসিনগুলোকে দেখে তার কাছে কুরিয়ারের থ্রু দিয়ে পৌঁছে দেওয়ার এবং পেমেন্টের ব্যবস্থাটা করতে পারে। এখানে আর একটা খুব ভালো ফেসিলিটি আছে যেটা হচ্ছে মেসেজ। আমরা অনেক সময় আমাদের অনেক কোয়ারি থাকে, কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে পেশেন্টদের যে আমার এটা হয়েছে আমি এখন কী করবো, এবং সেটা সবসময় হঠাৎ করে ডক্টরদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করাটা সম্ভব হয় না বা হেলথ কেয়ার প্রোভাইডারদের সঙ্গে একটা যোগাযোগ করা সম্ভব হয় না। তাহলে আমরা এখানে 2 ওয়েতে একটা মেসেজিং সিস্টেম আমরা এখানে চালু করেছি, যেখান থেকে পেশেন্ট যদি কোনো চ্যাট করে, মানে আমাদের অনেকটা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপের মতন যদি কোনো মেসেজ দেয় তাহলে সেটা আমাদের হেলথ কেয়ার প্রোভাইডাররা সেটা দেখে তাকে তার কোনো ইনস্ট্রাকশন, কোনো মেডিকেশন, কোনো টেস্ট সেটা তারা ওখান থেকে জানাতে পারবে। এবং সেটা যদি না করতে পারে তাহলে তাদের যদি কোনো ডকুমেন্ট আপলোড করে সেই ডকুমেন্টটাকেও আমাদের হেলথ কেয়ার প্রোভাইডার যারা আছেন তারা সেটাকে দেখে সেটার উপর তাকে সাহায্য করতে পারে। এরপর আমাদের আছে গেট ভ্যাকসিনেশন, অর্থাৎ ভ্যাকসিনেশনে এটা আমাদের কামিং শুন। ভ্যাকসিনেশনটা যে রিমাইন্ডার যে আপনাকে এই সময় হয়ে গেছে, যেটা ইয়ারলি হয়তো কোনো একটা ভ্যাকসিনেশন আছে বা কোয়ার্টারলি কোনো ভ্যাকসিনেশন আছে, তাহলে তাকে রিমাইন্ডার যাবে যে আপনি এই ভ্যাকসিনেশনটা আপনার ডিউ আছে, আপনি এটা নিয়ে নিন। সেটা এখান থেকে এন্ট্রি করা থাকলে সেটা ওটা ওখানে কাজ করবে। এখানে আমাদের মাই হেলথ যেটা আছে, মাই হেলথের পোর্শনটাতে এখানে ডক্টর কনসালটেশন, ডক্টর চুজ করা যাবে, ডক্টর চুজ করে এখান থেকে পেমেন্ট করে কনসালটেশন আছে। আমাদের যেটা মাই হেলথ আমাদের যে পোর্শনটা আছে, এটাতে একটি পেশেন্টের টোটাল হেলথ রেকর্ডটা সে বাড়িতে বসে মোবাইলের থ্রুতে পাবে। তার পালস কত আছে, কত চলছে, তার ট্রেন, তার বিপি কত চলছে, গ্লুকোজ ফাস্টিং কত চলছে, এবং তার অন্যান্য যদি কোনো কিছু থাকে সোডিয়াম, পটাশিয়াম, ক্রিয়েটিনাইন এগুলো যদি থাকে সেটা এন্ট্রি করলে সেটা পাবে। এবং সেই যেখান থেকে ডাক্তার দেখিয়ে গেল, কোনো একজনকে ডাক্তার দেখিয়ে যাওয়ার পর দেখা গেলো প্রেসক্রিপশনটা তার কাছে নেই, সে হারিয়ে ফেলেছে, অথবা প্রেসক্রিপশনটা ছাড়া সে কোনো জায়গাতে কোনো মেডিসিন সেন্টারে দোকান শপে গেছে, তাহলে সে তখন যেহেতু তার প্রেসক্রিপশনটা হারিয়ে গেছে সেহেতু তার তো মেডিসিনটা সে কিনতে পারবে না, কোনো প্রবলেম হবে। কিন্তু আমাদের এখানে কী হচ্ছে, যেটা এখান থেকে আমাদের ডাক্তারবাবুরা সাজেস্ট করছে, যেটা অ্যাডভাইস করছে, সেটা সে ভিজিট ওয়াইজ তার মোবাইলে দেখতে পাবে যে এই মেডিসিন এখানে অ্যাডভাইস করা আছে, কী কী টেস্ট অ্যাডভাইস করা আছে, এবং তাতে কোন কী ডায়েট এবং অ্যাক্টিভিটি অ্যাডভাইস করা আছে সেটাও সে এখান থেকে দেখতে পাবে। এবং এখান থেকে সে তার নিজস্ব রিপোর্টগুলোকে আপলোড করে স্যারেদের কাছ থেকে হেল্প পেতে পারে। এখানে আমাদের এইরকমভাবে আমাদের এন্ট্রি করে জায়গাটা থেকে স্ক্রিনটা হয়তো খুব ভালো দেখা যাচ্ছে না যেহেতু অ্যাপ থেকে তোলা হয়েছে। এখানে আমাদের ব্লাড প্রেশার মনিটরিংয়ের ফেসিলিটি আছে, গ্লুকোজ মনিটরিংয়ের ফেসিলিটি আছে। এর আমাদের কামিং সুন, এটা আমাদের কাজ আমাদের অলরেডি টেস্টিং ডান হয়ে গেছে। সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমাদের একটা সিজিএম মেশিন থেকে, সেই সিজিএম মেশিনটা থেকে কন্টিনিউয়াস গ্লুকোজ মনিটরিং মেশিনটা থেকে আপনার এই অ্যাপে 3 মিনিট অন্তর অন্তর গ্লুকোজের রেজাল্টটা চলে আসবে। যেটা সাহায্যে আপনি বুঝতে পারবেন কোন সময় আপনার গ্লুকোজটা ফিক হচ্ছে, কোন সময় ফিক হচ্ছে কি হচ্ছে সেটা পাবেন। এবং আমরা আরও কিছু কাজ করছি যাতে কোনো আইওটি ডিভাইসগুলোকে এর সঙ্গে আস্তে আস্তে ইন্টিগ্রেট করে দেওয়া যায়। গ্লুকোস্টেট, ভ্যাকসিন। আচ্ছা, নোটিফিকেশান হচ্ছে আমাদের এই অ্যাপের মধ্যে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ ইন্টিগ্রেশন করা আছে। আমাদের অ্যাপে যাবতীয় যত ফেসিলিটি আছে সেগুলো বুক করলে এবং তাকে মানে তার অ্যামাউন্টের রিমাইন্ডার হোক, অন্য কিছু রিমাইন্ডার হোক, টাইম টু টাইম হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে চলে আসবে, তার হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে সে অ্যাভেল করতে পারবে। সিকিউরিটি আমাদের এখানে যেহেতু লগ ইনটা ওটিপি সিস্টেম আছে এবং আমাদের প্রত্যেকটা যে ডেটা আছে ডেটাটা আমাদের এখানে এনক্রিপ্টেড অবস্থায় থাকে এবং আমাদের আরও কিছু ফেসিলিটি আছে সেই যার সাহায্যে আমরা ডেটাটা রাখি। সুতরাং মেডিকেল ডেটা মানে একটা সিকিউর ডেটা, সেই ডেটাটাকে যথেষ্ট সিকিউর অবস্থাতেই সেটা এখানে ইউজ করা যায়। এনক্রিপ্টেড ডেটা, কন্ট্রোল অ্যাক্সেস টু পেশেন্ট, যে কোনো কেউ অ্যাক্সেস করতে পারবে না, পেশেন্ট একমাত্র যদি সে ট্যাগ করে তাহলেই সে অ্যাক্সেসটা করতে পারবে। আর হচ্ছে আমাদের হেলথ কেয়ারের যে বিভিন্ন কমপ্লায়েন্স থাকে তার সঙ্গে আমাদের হিপা বা এগুলোর সঙ্গে আমরা মেনটেন করে কাজটা করার চেষ্টা করছি। বেনিফিটস হচ্ছে হেলথ কেয়ার অ্যাক্সেসটা করতে পারবে খুব সহজে, হসপিটাল ভিজিটটা তার কমে যাবে, হসপিটাল ক্লিনিক তার আননেসেসারি ভিজিটটা কমে যাবে, তার হেলথের বিভিন্ন প্যারামিটারগুলো ট্র্যাকিংটা সহজে করতে পারবে, কমিউনিকেশন উইথ ডক্টর আর হেলথ কেয়ার প্রোভাইডারদের সঙ্গে কমিউনিকেশনটা বেটার করতে পারবে। হেলথ কেয়ার প্রফেশনে আমাদের ক্ষেত্রে কি হচ্ছে, আমরা খুব বেশি পরিমাণে একটা ভাস্ট জায়গা জুড়ে আমরা কাজটা করতে পারবো। আমরা যেখানে 10 জন পেশেন্টকে আমরা আমাদের ফেসিলিটি পৌঁছে দিতে পারছিলাম, সেখানে এটার জন্য আমরা আরও অনেক বেশি পরিমাণে পেশেন্টের কাছে পৌঁছে দিতে পারবো এবং তাদের কাছে আমাদের যে ফেসিলিটিগুলো আছে সেগুলোকে আমরা দেখাতে পারবো। ক্লিনিক্যাল ডিসিশন মেকিংটা অনেক সুবিধা হবে আমাদের। আর ইমপ্রুভ পেশেন্ট স্যাটিসফ্যাকশন, পেশেন্ট যখনই বাড়িতে বসে ওটা খুব সহজেই হাতের মুঠে পেয়ে যাবে তখন তো তার কাছে স্যাটিসফ্যাকশনটা অনেকটা বেরোবে, তাকে মানে যাতায়াত আসতে হচ্ছে না, অনেক প্রবলেমটা তাকে সলভ করতে হয়ে যাচ্ছে। ফিউচারের মধ্যে আমি যেটা বললাম, সিজিএম মেশিনের সঙ্গে ইন্টিগ্রেশনের টেস্টিং আমাদের ডান হয়ে গেছে, আমরা নতুন এই অ্যাপটার পরবর্তী ভার্সনে ওটা আমরা করে দেবো। এআই বেস হেলথ রেকমেন্ডেশন, যেটা কোনো সাজেশন সেটা থেকে একটা ব্যবস্থা করা, রিমোট পেশেন্ট মনিটরিং, অ্যাডভান্স মেডিসিন রিচার্জ, অর্থাৎ আমাদের অ্যাপের থ্রু দিয়ে আলাদা করে আমাদের অন্য কোনো ভিডিও কনফারেন্স না করে অ্যাপের মধ্যে দিয়ে আমরা ভিডিও কনফারেন্সটা করবো যাতে আরও সুবিধা হবে ইউজ করাটা। আর সেপারেট অ্যান্ড্রয়েড অ্যান্ড আইএসও অ্যাপ দুটো এনসিআর কেয়ার, এই দুটো আমরা খুব শীঘ্রই লঞ্চ করবো। হাউ টু ইউজ, এখানে আমাদের এই যে কোনো ব্রাউজার খুলে ল্যাপটপ, ডেস্কটপ, অ্যান্ড্রয়েড, আইএসও ফোন থেকে এটা টাইপ করতে হবে বা ওই কিউআর কোডটা স্ক্যান করলে আমাদের সামনে লগ ইন স্ক্রিনটা চলে আসবে, সেখান থেকে রেজিস্টার করতে হবে, লগ ইন করতে হবে, তারপরে এনজয় দ্য পোর্টালটাকে এনজয় করবে। কনক্লুশন, পেশেন্ট পোর্টাল ট্রান্সফর্ম ডিজিটাল, এটা আমি যা বললাম সবগুলো এখানে লেখা আছে, আর কিছু বলছি আমি সাথে দাঁড়িয়ে গেছি।
Thank you, Saptashi. Obviously, slow but steady is the risk. So, to be here, and Saptashi, fabulous work. I really appreciate it because this is the first time this kind of integrated app has been designed. It took some more time, I understand, but the work was very vast, but ultimately it has been done. Thank you, Saptashi. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for a very exciting session by Shubhabrato, but before that, you all know potassium is a problem. Potassium goes up. Patient is suffering from chronic kidney disease. The tea we drink contains potassium, fruit we eat contains potassium, even a lot of cold drinks, and obviously the most preferred foods, they all have a significant amount of potassium. Till date, the patients who are on CKD, the majority of the treatment which ultimately deterred the progression of the chronic kidney disease, like SC, ARV, and ever since the mineralocorticoid receptor blocker has been discovered, the main challenge of prescribing this drug was hyperkalemia, and we often stop those medications because of hyperkalemia. So keeping that in mind, the scientists across the globe was thinking what to do. We had hardly 3-4 different strategies to address hyperkalemia. Restriction of the food, our dietitians are very strict, always ye khave na, wo khave na, dal khave na, sobai potassium. Yes, I understand it is necessary, but how long somebody could restrict? I have a patient, Mr. Bose, is getting dialysis. After every dialysis, potassium go up to 6.7. I don't know how to manage this into that. So this is the problem. So when there is a problem, there is a solution too. So people now discovered a new molecule which is called sodium zirconium cyclosamine. That is the one molecule which has came out. So today I want to speak something about this thing. Obviously, thank you AstraZeneca for sponsoring this session. This molecule is available in a 5-gram sachet in the form to take orally, which has been proven to bring the potassium down sustainably, and you can continue the treatment with all the so-called guideline-driven CKD retardation regimen. For example, ACRB, for example, Finneron. You can continue where the tendency for hyperkalemia can be taken care of by this molecule. So with this, let us go that RAS inhibitor, because of the hyperkalemia, we can't prescribe. Same with Finneron. We cannot prescribe because of hyperkalemia. A significant number of patients, their potassium goes up, and we know the definition of hyperkalemia, and this leads to a serious problem in the patients who are suffering from chronic kidney disease. And it has been seen, Indian specifically has a more tendency of hyperkalemia. Reason? Because we survive on cereals. You name a cereal, there is a potassium. And also, because of tropical country, there are a lot of juicy fruits. We sweat. Sweat excretes potassium from out of our body, and nature protects us by creating available fruits which are rich in potassium. And also, the soil in this country has a higher potassium load. Why I am telling this? I am telling this from the information when we gathered, when we did some research with the Kullani Agricultural University, where we are working on developing low potassium lentil. Then we had a soil map, and we found the West Bengal per se, not only West Bengal, Indian per se, the soil potassium content was 30% higher than any tropical country. I mean, any country, Scandinavian countries. Their potassium, just soil has a low potassium. So Indians per se have a more hyperkalemic tendency. Look at the patients with the hyperkalemia. India is more than 10%. Henceforth, the CKD management with RAS inhibitor, with so-called mineralocorticoid receptor inhibitors, receptor blockers are defective, become challenging. And risk of hyperkalemia across the patient population, we know CKD has a massive chance of the hyperkalemia, more than 50%. Same with the heart failure, dialysis, type 2 DM, and obviously up to 8 to 10% the other person. Now, these are some prevalence data. Based on the severity of the chronic kidney disease, the prevalence of hyperkalemia increase. Henceforth, we have to be careful about potassium, because it is seen and it is well documented that hyperkalemia increases the risk of death. The potassium in the range of 5.5 to 6 increases chances of mortality by 5 times, whereas potassium more than 6 increases the mortality by 16 times. So it is not a good news. Henceforth we are scared. Henceforth we always recommend low potassium food. Henceforth we allow the patient to stop ACRB because fear of death haunts us because of hyperkalemia. Ladies and gentlemen, so keeping that in mind, so we need to be very careful. And this is also, we have a common belief that after dialysis, the potassium gets worse. But what happened? There is a rebound hyperkalemia. I am telling about one patient we are dealing with, suppose. After dialysis 4, pre-dialysis 6.7. Today just now I got the message, we came for the dialysis, potassium 6.7. So it takes 6 to 8 hours for the patient who has a prone for developing hyperkalemia to rebound hyperkalemia. Keeping those in mind, the scientists will research a molecule which can reduce and keep the potassium sustainably low across the different part of the face. And here, the new molecule came. These are the available options: calcium gluconate, insulin dextrose, beta-2 agonist, or dialysis. These are all acute treatments. Okay, diuretics, and obviously the traditional potassium binder, that is sodium polystyrene sulforate. We call it K-bind. K-bind is very bad to eat. If you have any enemy, ask him to take K-bind. He will out of the. This is such a bad to test. I personally tested. Honestly, when I prescribe, I just think, how can somebody take K-bind? It is so bad. So keeping that in mind, we had a search, and that was to some extent. But thanks to AstraZeneca, they brought first this molecule in the market. It is available in the name of Localma. The local MA, advantage of local MA is it is good to test. You can continue across the different segment of the CKD, even in the dialysis patient, because they have the first data published on the dialysis patient, which it can be taken. And the relevance is, those who are taking RAS inhibitors, they, because of the hyperkalemia, at least 25 to 26% patient has to stop. And those who are in the mineralocorticoid receptor, at least 30% has to stop because of the hyperkalemia. So that can be mitigated by this. So thank you very much. I will not spend too much of time on this. So please, the AstraZeneca people, thank you that you brought a new molecule which is giving us some kind of safety for the CKD patients who need it to continuation of so-called, so all the guideline-driven therapies, for example, AC inhibitors, ARBs, or mineralocorticoid receptor blockers, without risking them for the hyperkalemia. Thank you very much. So before I end this session and move to the nutrition, I thought the nutrition should be after the tea break or before the major meal which will serve. But unfortunately, मित्तल जी खाना चालू कर दिया सबके लिए, सवाई खाना चालू कर दिया, तो क्या करें? सुपर फूड फॉर द सीकेडी अभी हो जाए ना बाद में होगा? दिया where are you? दिया की खेत चले गए? Okay, please come. So I think you do the session of superfood. After that, we'll meditate. We'll have a beautiful, calm stomach which can absorb a lot of food. That will be the best. So, Diya, please come. So, Diya has a session on nutrition, and it is mainly focusing on some of the special superfoods which has a tendency or capacity to protect the CKD progression. Over to Diya. And after that, I'll invite Subrata to have a beautiful manifestation. Thank you very much.
Good evening everyone. So আজকে আমাদের নিউট্রিশন সেশনের টপিক হচ্ছে ফাংশনাল সুপারফুডস ফর প্রোটেক্টিং কিডনি হেলথ। সো মেন টপিকটায় যাওয়ার আগে যেটা হচ্ছে গ্লোবাল বার্ডেন অফ কিডনি ডিজিজ, মেনলি দেখা যাচ্ছে 10 to 13% গ্লোবালি কিডনি ডিজিজ প্রেজেন্ট রয়েছে। তার মেন তিনটে কজ হচ্ছে, ফার্স্ট হাইপারটেনশন, সেকেন্ড ডায়াবেটিস এবং থার্ড হচ্ছে যে কোনো অটো ইমিউন ডিজিজ, যার মধ্যে আইজিএ নেফ্রোপ্যাথি বা লুপাস নেফ্রাইটিস, এইগুলো খুব কমনলি আমরা পাই পেশেন্টদের মধ্যে। সো কনসেপ্ট অফ সুপারফুড, সুপারফুড বলতে সেই ফুডগুলোকেই আমরা বলে থাকি যার মধ্যে অ্যান্টিঅক্সিডেন্ট প্রপার্টিজ রয়েছে, অ্যান্টি ইনফ্ল্যামেটরি প্রপার্টিজ রয়েছে, এবং যেই ফুডগুলো আমাদের যে কোনো এন্ড অর্গান হতে পারে, সেটা ইট মে বি কিডনি, ইট মে বি হার্ট, ইট মে বি লিভার, যে কোনো এন্ড অর্গানকে প্রোটেকশন দিচ্ছে, সেই ফুডগুলোকেই আমরা মেনলি সুপারফুড বলে থাকি। ফার্স্ট, কিডনি ড্যামেজ পাথওয়ে। কিভাবে কিডনি ড্যামেজ হচ্ছে? আমাদের সবার মধ্যে প্রথম যে মিথটা রয়েছে যে প্রোটিন ইনটেক আমি যদি বেশি করি তবেই আমার কিডনি ড্যামেজ হতে পারে বা ক্রিয়েটিনিন ইনক্রিজ হতে পারে। কিন্তু মেন পাথওয়ে যেটা হয় যে প্রোটিন ইনটেক করছি, সেখান থেকে আমার লিভারে প্রোটিনটা মেটাবলিজম হয়ে সেখান থেকে তৈরি করছে ইউরিয়া। ইউরিয়া প্রোডাকশনের জন্য বডিতে হচ্ছে অ্যাসিডোসিস, অর্থাৎ বডির পিএইচ লেভেল ডিসব্যালেন্সড হচ্ছে। সেখান থেকে অক্সিডেটিভ স্ট্রেস বাড়ছে বডির মধ্যে এবং লাস্ট যেটা হচ্ছে গ্লোমেরুলার ডিসফাংশন বা গ্লোমেরুলার অ্যাট্রফি, সেখান থেকে আমার কিডনি ড্যামেজের দিকে বা সিকেডির দিকে বেসিক্যালি প্রোগ্রেশনটা হয়ে থাকে। এবার আমাদের মেইন টপিক যেটা হচ্ছে সুপারফুডস টু প্রোটেক্ট কিডনি হেলথ। ফার্স্ট হচ্ছে ক্র্যানবেরি। ক্র্যানবেরি আমরা নর্মালি যাদের খুব রিকারেন্টলি ইউটিআই হচ্ছে তাদেরকে অ্যাডভাইস করে থাকি। এর মেইন অ্যাক্টিভ কম্পাউন্ড হচ্ছে পিএসি। যাদের ইউটিআই হচ্ছে, যাদের কোনো ফ্লুইড রেস্ট্রিকশন নেই, তাদের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নর্মালি অ্যাডভাইস করে থাকি যে 150 to 200 বা 250 ml মতো জুস পেশেন্ট রেগুলারলি খেতে পারে, যদি পেশেন্টের কোনো রকম ফ্লুইড ইনটেকের প্রবলেম না থেকে থাকে এবং পেশেন্টের পটাশিয়াম লেভেল যদি নর্মাল হয়ে থাকে। সেকেন্ড, আর্জেন্টিনাইন মালবেরি। আর্জেন্টিনাইন মালবেরি এখন রিসেন্ট স্টাডিজে দেখা যাচ্ছে যে আইজে নেফ্রোপ্যাথি কে কিন্তু প্রোগ্রেশনটাকে ডিলে করছে। এর মধ্যে মেনলি আমরা 10 থেকে 20 to 25 গ্রামস মতো আমরা মালবেরিটা খেতে বলি যদি পেশেন্টের পটাশিয়াম লেভেল নর্মাল থেকে থাকে। থার্ড, গার্লিক। গার্লিক আমরা মোটামুটি সব পেশেন্টদেরই খেতে বলি যদি পেশেন্টের কোনো রকম পটাশিয়াম ইনক্রিজ না হয়ে থাকে, পেশেন্ট যদি রেগুলার বেসিসে রান্নার মধ্যে গার্লিক না নিয়ে থাকে, সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নর্মালি বলে থাকি যে একটা কি দুটো ক্লোভ সিকেডি পেশেন্ট হলেও সে রেগুলার বেসিসে ইনটেক করতে পারে। নেক্সট, ফ্যাটি ফিশ, যেমন স্যালমন। অনেক পেশেন্টরা আমাদের জিজ্ঞাসা করে থাকেন যে স্যালমন মাছ বা এই টাইপের যে কোনো ফ্যাটি ফিশ আমরা খেতে পারবো কিনা। সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নর্মালি বলে থাকি যদি পেশেন্টের ফসফরাস লেভেল, পটাশিয়াম লেভেল, যে কোনো ইলেকট্রোলাইট যদি ব্যালেন্সড থাকে তাহলে সেক্ষেত্রে অকেশনালি পেশেন্ট খেতে পারে। সেই ক্ষেত্রে অ্যামাউন্টটা নর্মালি আমরা অ্যাডভাইস করে দিই যে 50 to 70 গ্রামসের মধ্যে অকেশনালি পেশেন্ট ইনটেক করতে পারে। আর এই ফ্যাটি ফিশ গুলো কিন্তু ওমেগা 3 and ওমেগা 6 ফ্যাটি অ্যাসিডের একটা খুব রিচ সোর্স। সো যাদের সিকেডি বা অন্য কোনো এন্ড অর্গান ডিজিজ নেই তাদের ক্ষেত্রে তো প্রায়ই পেশেন্ট খেতে পারেন, এবং সিকেডি পেশেন্ট বা যে কোনো হার্ট রিলেটেড ইস্যু যাদের রয়েছে তাদের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা বলি যে অ্যাজ পার ডক্টরস বা ডায়েটিশিয়ানস অ্যাডভাইস পেশেন্টকে যেরকম অ্যামাউন্ট বলে দেওয়া হবে পেশেন্ট ইনটেক করতে পারে। টার্মারিক। টার্মারিকের মধ্যে কারকিউমিন নামে একটি অ্যাক্টিভ কম্পাউন্ড থাকে যেটা কিনা অ্যান্টি ইনফ্ল্যামেটরি এবং অ্যান্টি অক্সিডেন্ট প্রপার্টি হোল্ড করে। কিন্তু যদি আমরা হলুদ বা কাঁচা হলুদ অনেকে খায় বা অনেকে নর্মাল টার্মারিক পাউডার ইউজ করে, তবে কিন্তু কারকিউমিন বডিতে ঠিকঠাক ভাবে অ্যাবজর্ব হয় না। সো টার্মারিকের সাথে আমরা নর্মালি অ্যাডভাইস করে থাকি ব্ল্যাক পেপার, সেটা পাউডার ফর্মে হতে পারে, সেটা হোল স্পাইস হিসেবে ইউজ হতে পারে, দুটো একসঙ্গে ইনটেক করার জন্য যাতে কারকিউমিনের অ্যাবজর্পশনটা বডিতে ঠিকঠাক হয়। 6, মোরিঙ্গা। মোরিঙ্গা এখন খুব একটা বার্নিং টপিক আমাদের নিউট্রিশনের ক্ষেত্রে। মোরিঙ্গা বেসিক্যালি হচ্ছে সজনে গাছের পাতা যেটা হয়। মোরিঙ্গার ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নর্মালি যাদের ওয়েট লসের ব্যাপার থাকে বা যাদের বডিতে অ্যান্টি ইনফ্ল্যামেটরি প্রপার্টিজ দরকার তাদের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা মোরিঙ্গা নর্মালি অ্যাডভাইস করে থাকি। এবার অনেক পেশেন্ট জিজ্ঞাসা করেন আমাদের যে আমরা কি সজনে পাতা বা সজনে গাছের যে কোনো পাট, সজনে ডাঁটা খায় অনেকে, তো এই জিনিসগুলো কি খেতে পারবো? তো যারা মোরিঙ্গা খেতে চায় তাদের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নর্মালি বলে থাকি যে যদি পাউডার ফর্মে খেতেও হয়, নর্মালি যাদের ওয়েট লস থাকে তাদেরকে আমরা বলি জলের সাথে খেতে। বাট যাদের এই সিকেডি রয়েছে তাদের ক্ষেত্রে একটা সমস্যা হচ্ছে কি না, ফ্লুইড ইনটেক একটা খুব বড় সমস্যা। তো তাদের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা বলে থাকি যে কার্ডের সাথে মিশিয়ে পেশেন্ট কিন্তু এটা ইনটেক করতে পারে। অ্যান্ড লাস্ট সুপারফুড হচ্ছে আমাদের অলিভ অয়েল। অলিভ অয়েল এমন একটা অয়েল যেটার মধ্যে ওমেগা 3, ওমেগা 6 এই ফ্যাটি অ্যাসিডস গুলো রয়েছে। অলিভ অয়েলকে নর্মালি অনেক পেশেন্ট জিজ্ঞাসা করে যে আমি কি কুকিং এর ক্ষেত্রে অলিভ অয়েল ইউজ করলে আমার ডায়েট ভালো হবে বা আমার হেলথ ভালো হবে? সেই ক্ষেত্রে নর্মালি আমরা বলে থাকি যে অলিভ অয়েলটা কুকিং এর জন্য ইউজ না করতে বরং স্যালাড ড্রেসিং হিসেবে যদি ইউজ করতে চান সেটা ইউজ করতে পারেন। তার কারণ আমাদের ইন্ডিয়ান যে রেসিপিস গুলো রয়েছে এই প্রত্যেকটা রেসিপি খুব হাই স্মোকিং পয়েন্টে বানানো হয়ে থাকে এন্ড অলিভ অয়েলের স্মোকিং পয়েন্ট কিন্তু খুব কম, অর্থাৎ খুব কম টেম্পারেচারে অলিভ অয়েল ট্রান্স ফ্যাট তৈরি করে, যেটা কিনা আমাদের শরীরের জন্য ঠিক না। সো অলিভ অয়েল যদি কেউ স্যালাড ড্রেসিং এর জন্য ইউজ করতে চায়, সেইটা অ্যাজ পার ডায়েটিশিয়ানস অ্যাডভাইস সে করতে পারে। আর লাস্টলি প্লাডো ডায়েট। এখন সিকেডি নিউট্রিশনের ক্ষেত্রে দেখা যাচ্ছে প্লাডো ডায়েট অনেকে অ্যাডভাইস করছে। প্লাডো ডায়েট কি? প্লাডো ডায়েট হচ্ছে প্ল্যান্ট ডমিনেন্ট ডায়েট, অর্থাৎ এই ডায়েটের ক্ষেত্রে দুটো পার্ট থাকে। একটা হচ্ছে লো প্রোটিন ইনটেক, অর্থাৎ পেশেন্টের আইডিয়াল বডি ওয়েটের উপর বেস করে 0.6 to 0.8 গ্রাম পার কেজি হিসেবে আমরা অ্যাডভাইস করি, এবং আরেকটা হচ্ছে প্ল্যান্ট সোর্স থেকে মোর দ্যান 50% ক্যালোরিজ আসবে। তাছাড়া প্ল্যাডো ডায়েটের আরেকটা পয়েন্ট হচ্ছে যেটা যে সোডিয়াম ইনটেক। সোডিয়াম ইনটেক ইন টোটাল যেটা অ্যাডভাইস করা হয়ে থাকে 5 গ্রাম পার ডে। যদি পেশেন্টের ইডিমা থেকে থাকে, যদি পেশেন্টের হাইপারটেনশন থেকে থাকে যেটা আনকন্ট্রোলড লেভেলে রয়েছে, সেই সব ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নর্মালি অ্যাডভাইস করি 3 গ্রাম পার ডে। এবার প্লাডো ডায়েটের ক্ষেত্রে আরেকটা সুবিধা হচ্ছে যেহেতু পুরোপুরি প্লান্ট সোর্স, সেই ক্ষেত্রে পেশেন্টের যেটা ফাইবারের রিকোয়ারমেন্ট থাকে নর্মালি 25 to 27 গ্রাম পার ডে, সেইটা মিট হয়ে যায়। প্লাডো ডায়েটের ক্ষেত্রে নর্মালি যেটা আমাদের টার্গেট থাকে যে সিকেডি প্রোগ্রেশন যতটা ডিলে করা যায়, ডায়ালিসিস যদি প্রিভেন্ট করা যায় বা ডায়ালিসিস যদি ডিলে করা যায়, পেশেন্টের অ্যাট দ্য এন্ড লাইফ আউটকাম যদি ভালো করা যায়। প্লাডো ডায়েটের ক্ষেত্রে পেশেন্টের আউটকাম যেটা দেখা গেছে যে কোয়ালিটি অফ লাইফ ইমপ্রুভ হয়েছে। তাছাড়া ইউরেমিক যে সিমটমস গুলো, অর্থাৎ খিদে না পাওয়া, ভমিটিং টেন্ডেন্সি, এই জিনিসগুলো অনেকটা কমেছে। কিছু কিছু পেশেন্টের ক্ষেত্রে দেখা গেছে যে ইউরিয়া লেভেল অনেকটা কমেছে। এইগুলো হচ্ছে পেশেন্ট আউটকামস। এবং প্লাডো ডায়েটের ক্ষেত্রে যেগুলো আমাদেরকে মাথায় রাখতে হয় বিফোর ডিজাইনিং আ প্লাডো ডায়েট, সেটা হচ্ছে কিছু কিছু প্যারামিটারস আমাদের দেখতে হয়। যেহেতু প্ল্যান্ট সোর্সের যে কোনো, সেটা প্রোটিন সোর্স হতে পারে, সেটা কার্বোহাইড্রেট সোর্স হতে পারে, এগুলোর মধ্যে পটাশিয়াম লেভেল বা অন্য যে কোনো ইলেকট্রোলাইট লেভেল একটু বেশি পরিমাণ থাকে। সো পটাশিয়াম লেভেল আমাদের দেখতে হয়, পেশেন্টের সুগার লেভেল আমাদের দেখতে হয়, পেশেন্টের মাসেল ওয়েস্টিং হচ্ছে কিনা। যেহেতু প্লাডো ডায়েটের মধ্যে কিন্তু কোনো পেশেন্টের লিন প্রোটিন দেওয়া হচ্ছে না, যেহেতু প্ল্যান্ট বেসড কোনো প্রোটিনের মধ্যে লিন প্রোটিন প্রেজেন্ট থাকে না। এবং লাস্টলি পেশেন্টের সব রিপোর্ট কিরকম থাকছে, কোনো কারণে ইউরিয়া বা ক্রিয়েটিনিন খুব বেশি বেড়ে যাচ্ছে কিনা, এই সবকটা আমাদের ভালো করে দেখতে হয়। তবে কিন্তু যদি পেশেন্টের সব রিপোর্ট ঠিকঠাক থাকে, আমরা প্লাডো ডায়েট কিন্তু পেশেন্টকে অ্যাডভাইস করে থাকি। থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিওয়ান।
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we learned a lot about nutrition, and this is the right time we should prepare for the final sessions of the today. After that, we'll break for our evening snacks. There is a beautiful high tea arranged by the hospitality team. So those who are still standing and wandering behind, I recommend all of you please come forward. We are starting the fantastic meditation session. The most enchanting, most calming meditation session by Smriti. I'll request all of you, those who are standing at the back, please come forward. And I'll request the hospitality team to stop the food counter for next 15 to 20 minutes, please. সবাই খেতে শুরু করে নিজে একটু আসতে বলো। Okay. So over to Subhabrata. We are going to start the meditation session, and I can assure all of you, after 15 to 20 minutes of this session, you will have a different feelings, a different sense of well-being within you, and you will go back home or go to the the foods which are being served with a very, very pleasant gut. Thank you very much.
Thank you. আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করছি সবাই সামনে চলে এসো না,
যতটা পারো সামনে চলে এসো, ক্লোজ চলে এসো। সবাই প্লিজ একটু সামনে চলে এসো। কামিং 20-30 মিনিটস। যারা ভলেন্টিয়ার্স রয়েছে দরজাটা একটু ক্লোজ করে দেবে। যদি পসিবল হয় হলে লাইটটা যতটা মিনিমাম করা যাবে টু ক্রিয়েট দ্য অ্যাটমসফিয়ার ইফ পসিবল। So it's a great opportunity. এতক্ষণ ধরে আমরা যে আলোচনাগুলো শুনছিলাম, ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর কথা শুনছিলাম, মেডিসিনের কথা শুনছিলাম, তো এবার আমরা একটু শরীর থেকে মন সেই জায়গাটার কথা শুনবো, জার্নিটা উপলব্ধ করব যে আমরা শরীর থেকে মনের দিকে কি করে যেতে পারি এবং মনটাকে কি করে আমরা শান্ত করতে পারি তার একটা ছোট্ট জার্নি আমরা করব। একটু আমাদের টাইম লাগছে, সবাই অ্যাডজাস্ট করছি সেশনটার সঙ্গে। তো মুক্তি যে প্রোগ্রামটা আমরা করি, আমি মুক্তির বেশ কিছু জনকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি যারা এখানে রয়েছেন। তো মুক্তির যে প্রোগ্রামটা আমরা করি সেই প্রোগ্রামের মেজরিটি যে জায়গাটা আমরা বোঝানোর চেষ্টা করি, মুক্তিটা কি থেকে মুক্তি। মুক্তির জায়গাটা হচ্ছে যে সাফারিংটা হচ্ছে সেই সাফারিংটা থেকে আমরা কিভাবে পারসিভ করছি এবং আমাদের যে ডিজিজ ফেজের মধ্যে দিয়ে আমরা যাচ্ছি সেখানে আমাদের যে সাফারিং হচ্ছে সেই সাফারিংটা থেকে আমরা কতটা নিজেকে দূরত্বে রাখতে পারছি, সেই জায়গাটাকে মুক্তির একটা বড় জায়গা, সেই জায়গাটাকে অ্যাচিভ করানোর আমরা চেষ্টা করি। তো এখানে সিকেডি পেশেন্ট কারা রয়েছেন কেউ একটু কাইন্ডলি হাত তুলবেন। আপনারা রয়েছেন তাই তো? ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ। তো এটা আমি বললাম তার একটা বড় কারণ হচ্ছে যে আমরা রোগ হলে আমরা আইডেন্টিফাই করে নিই যে আমার শরীরে রোগ হয়েছে, আমার রোগ হয়েছে, কিন্তু আমরা মুক্তির মাধ্যমে বোঝানোর চেষ্টা করি রোগটা শরীরের হয়েছে, আপনার হয়নি। এবং সেটা যখন বোঝা যাবে তখন কিন্তু মুক্তি পাওয়াটা সম্ভব হবে। সেইটার আমরা চেষ্টা করব আজকে। আমার মনে হয় সবাই মোটামুটি প্রিপেয়ার হয়ে গেছে। সবাই রেডি ফর দ্য মেডিটেশন? ওকে। তো প্রথমে যেটা আমাদের মেডিটেশনের জন্য করতে হবে, একটু ফিজিক্যাল বডিকে একটুখানি প্রিপেয়ার করতে হবে ফর আওয়ার মাইন্ড। আজকে যে মেডিটেশনটা আমরা করব সেই মেডিটেশনটা হচ্ছে চিদাকাশ ধারণা। চিত হচ্ছে চিত্ত, মন। আমরা মনে কি কি আমাদের রিফ্লেকশন হচ্ছে সেইটাকে বোঝার চেষ্টা করব। তো সেটাকে যখন আমরা বোঝার চেষ্টা করব, মনের রিফ্লেকশনটাকে যখন আমরা জানার চেষ্টা করব, তখন কিন্তু আমরা আস্তে আস্তে আমাদের ইমোশনগুলোর উপর কন্ট্রোল আনতে পারবো। যখনই আমরা আমাদের ইমোশনের উপর কন্ট্রোল আনতে পারবো তখন কিন্তু আমরা আস্তে আস্তে আমাদের মনের উপর অনেকটা কন্ট্রোল আসবে। আমরা একটু রিকোয়েস্ট, কারণ যদি মোবাইল ফোন একটু যদি সাইলেন্ট করে রাখেন, সাইডের একটুখানি কথাটা কমাতে হবে প্লিজ। হ্যাঁ, এবং মোবাইল ফোনটা একটুখানি সাইলেন্ট করুন। 10 থেকে 15 মিনিটের মেডিটেশন হবে, কারণ খাবার রেডি হয়ে গেছে, সবার খুব এতক্ষণ ধরে সেশনে রয়েছে। কিন্তু যেটা একটা সেনগুপ্ত বললো, এই মেডিটেশনের পর খাওয়ার টেস্টটা কিন্তু অন্যরকম হবে এবং সেটা সবাই আপনারা ফিল করতে পারবেন আজকে। তো এভরিবডি রেডি? ওকে। সো বিফোর স্টার্টিং দ্য মেডিটেশন আমরা যেটা করবো, একটুখানি ফিজিক্যাল বডির ওয়ার্ম আপ করে নেব। তো সবাই হাতটাকে উপরে তুলে দিন। হ্যাঁ, ইন্টারলক এন্ড দম ছেড়ে একটু সাইডে, ডান দিকে, মাঝখানে, সাইডে, মাঝখানে, সাইডে, মাঝখানে, সাইডে। ভেরি গুড, রিল্যাক্স। এবার আমরা শোল্ডারটা আপ করবো, কাঁধটাকে কানের দিকে নিয়ে যাবো। স্টার্ট আপ, নাক দিয়ে দম নেব, 2, আবার নাক দিয়ে দম নেব, 3, ভেরি গুড, আবার 4, one time more, 5, ভেরি গুড। এবার আমরা একটু হাতটা একদম রিল্যাক্স রাখবো, ঠিক আছে, একদম রিল্যাক্স, নিচটা কোনো টেনশন থাকবে না। আমরা গ্র্যাজুয়ালি আস্তে আস্তে মাথার পেছনে মাথার উপরে প্যাডিং করবো, রিল্যাক্স, একদম প্যাডিং করবো, হালকা 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 প্যাডিং, হালকা 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 প্যাডিং, রিল্যাক্স, ছেড়ে দাও, গুড, হাতটা এরকম, রিস্টটা একদম রিল্যাক্স থাকবে। আমরা হালকা করে একটুখানি মুখে হিট করবো আর মুখ থেকে একটু আওয়াজ বার করবো, একটু দেখে নাও, ঠিক আছে, সবাই একসাথে, রেস্টার, ভেরি গুড। বেসিক্যালি আমরা যেটা করছি, আমরা গ্র্যাজুয়ালি আমাদের ভেগাল টোনটাকে একটু করে অ্যাক্টিভ করছি, যাতে ভেগাল টোনটা অ্যাক্টিভ হলে আমাদের মেডিটেশনটা অনেক বেটার হবে। আর দিস ইজ দ্য পাথ যেখান থেকে ভেগাস নার্ভটা ট্রাভেল করছে। ভেগাস নার্ভ ইজ দ্য অনলি ক্রেনিয়াল নার্ভ যেটা ক্রেনিয়াল থেকে পুরো অটোনমিক সিস্টেমে গেছে। তো এটার উপর যত আমরা কন্ট্রোল আনতে পারবো, তত প্যারাসিম্প্যাথেটিক নার্ভসের উপর কন্ট্রোল আসবে, তত আমাদের মেডিটেটিভ অ্যাওয়ারনেসটা অনেক বাড়বে। একদম রিল্যাক্স করে দাও হাতটা। হ্যাঁ, এবার জাস্ট পেটটা, খাবার আগে একটু পেটটা ব্যাটিং করো, ভেরি গুড, জাস্ট পেটটা ব্যাটিং করো। আওয়াজ হচ্ছে না, একটু জোরে আওয়াজ, আর একটু জোরে, কামান কামান। নাও আমরা যেটা করবো একটু, দিস ইজ দ্য লাস্ট ফেজ অফ আওয়ার ওয়ার্ম আপ, তারপর আমরা গ্র্যাজুয়ালি আস্তে আস্তে চলে যাবো মেডিটেশনে। সেটা হচ্ছে আমরা একটু ক্ল্যাপিং করবো, সবাই একসাথে ক্ল্যাপ করবো, এবং খালি ক্ল্যাপ করবো না, ক্ল্যাপ করার সাথে আমরা কাউন্ট করবো। আমরা 100 টাইম ক্ল্যাপস করবো, ক্ল্যাপ এন্ড কাউন্ট। আমরা যখন হাততালি দিই তখন ব্রেন অ্যাক্টিভেশনটা অনেকটা পিক করে, মানে ক্ল্যাপিং এর থেকে ভালো মোটিভেশন কিছু নেই। আমরা সকালবেলা উঠে নিজের জন্য যদি 3টে ক্ল্যাপ দিই, এর থেকে ভালো কিছু কিন্তু সেলফ আপলিফমেন্ট হয় না। আরবি নেভি থেকে সব জায়গায় ক্ল্যাপিং এটা ইউজ করা হয়, এবং তার সাথে কাউন্ট। এই যে আমাদের কীর্তন হতো, ক্ল্যাপিং হতো, তার সাথে আমরা কথা বলতাম, তো সেইটার থেকে আমরা কিন্তু একটা ভেগাল টোন যথেষ্ট ইমপ্রুভ হতো। দেখো, সেগুলো আমাদের যত পিএফটি আমরা করছি লাস্টে, সেটা দেখলাম যে পিএফটিতে আমাদের যে স্মল এয়ারওয়ে ব্লকেজ ম্যাক্সিমাম পাচ্ছি। তো আমার এখন একটা এটা দেখে মনে হচ্ছে যে আমাদের মোবাইল ইউজ কি আমাদের কথা বলার ধরন কমিয়ে দিচ্ছি, তার জন্য এত স্মল এয়ারওয়েজ ব্লকেজ পাওয়া যাচ্ছে। তো এগুলো নিয়ে আরো পরের দিকে আমাদের রিসার্চ করতে হবে। কিন্তু এই যে আমরা গলা চেঁচিয়ে কথা বলছি, আগেকার দিনে আমরা গ্রামে গেলে সব উচ্চ স্বরে কথা বলতো, কিন্তু এখন সেই টোনগুলো কমে এসেছে। সেখানে ক্ল্যাপিং এবং তার সাথে একটুখানি যদি আমরা কাউন্ট করি, তাহলে আস্তে আস্তে আমরা মেডিটেটিভ জায়গায় চলে যাবো, and then we will start the meditation. তাহলে 100 টাইম ক্ল্যাপিং, লেটস স্টার্ট, চলো, 1 2 3 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 স্টপ। আমি পৃথিবীতে কোথাও দেখিনি কেউ গম্ভীরভাবে ক্ল্যাপ করে, তোমরা দেখেছো? আমি কিন্তু কোথাও দেখি। এইভাবে হবে না, ক্যামেরাম্যান আছে, সবাইকে দেখবে, কেউ যদি না হাসে আমায় বলবাই বন্ধ করে দেবো। ক্ল্যাপ উইথ স্মাইল ইজ ইম্পর্টেন্ট, ঠিক আছে? স্মাইল শুড বি রেডিয়েটেড, ওকে? সবাই এগ্রি? চলো স্টার্ট, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23। তোমরা বলছো না কেন? বলতে হবে। 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 69, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 76, 78, 79, 80, 81, last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. Stop. চোখ বন্ধ করে দাও। চোখ বন্ধ করে দাও। হাতের চেটেগুলো ফিল করো। ক্ল্যাপিং এর ফলে হাতে যে ব্লাড সার্কুলেশন হচ্ছে সেটা ফিল করো। চোখ খুলবে না, চোখ বন্ধ করে দাও। ফিল ইউর ব্রিথ। দেখো ব্রিথটা কত ফাস্ট হয়ে গেছে। ফিল ইউর ব্রিথ। চোখ বন্ধ রাখো। Say to yourself, I will not open my eyes up to end of this practice. এই প্র্যাকটিসটা যতক্ষণটা শেষ হচ্ছে আমি আমার চোখ খুলবো না। Say to yourself. Take this challenge and say to yourself, I will not open my eyes. একদম চোখ বন্ধ রাখো, খালি আমার ইনস্ট্রাকশনটা শুনো। নিজের ব্রিথটা দেখো আস্তে আস্তে স্টেডি হচ্ছে। ফিল ইট। ফিল করো নিজের ব্রিথটা আস্তে আস্তে স্টেডি হচ্ছে। তোমার ব্রিথ থেকে ফোকাসটা তোমার শরীরের উপর নিয়ে এসো। চোখ বন্ধ রেখে অবজার্ভ ইউর বিউটিফুল স্মাইল। তোমার মুখের সুন্দর হাসিটাকে চোখ বন্ধ করে দেখার চেষ্টা করো। স্প্রেড ইউর স্মাইল টুয়ার্ডস নেক। নেক মাসেলস থেকে রিল্যাক্স করে দাও, একদম টেনশন রাখবেন না। স্প্রেড দ্য স্মাইল টুয়ার্ডস চেস্ট। চেস্টটাকে একদম রিল্যাক্স করে দেবে, কোনো টেনশন রাখবে না। স্প্রেড দ্য স্মাইল টুয়ার্ডস অ্যাবডোমেন। অ্যাবসলিউটলি রিল্যাক্স। আমরা একটা অদ্ভুত অনুভূতির মধ্যে ঢুকতে চলেছি। চোখটা খুলবে না। টেক দিস চ্যালেঞ্জ। চোখ বন্ধ করলেই মনে হবে একটু হাতটা নাড়িয়ে, একটু মাথায় হাত দিয়ে, একটু পায়ে হাত দিয়ে দেবে না। 5টা মিনিট নিজেকে কন্ট্রোল করো। চোখটা বন্ধ রাখো। একটা অদ্ভুত অনুভূতির মধ্যে আমরা যেতে চলেছি। জার্নি টুয়ার্ডস ইনার সেলফ। চোখটা বন্ধ রেখে তুমি ভিজুয়ালাইজ করো তোমার চোখের সামনে একটা মিরর আছে, একটা ফুল লেন্থ মিরর আছে। তুমি স্টাডেল হোটেলের এই সেমিনার হলে বসে রয়েছো। ইউ আর সো লাকি। তোমার সামনের মিররটায় তুমি তোমার ইমেজটাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছ। Your eyes are closed and you are visualizing your image on that full length mirror. Now there is another mirror on your right side. তোমার ডান দিকে আরেকটা মিরর। সেই মিররে তোমার ইমেজটাকে দেখার চেষ্টা করো। There is another mirror on your left. সেই মিররে তোমার ইমেজটাকে দেখার চেষ্টা করো। Another mirror on your back. সেই মিররে তোমার ইমেজটাকে দেখার চেষ্টা করো। From the front, from the back, from the right side, from the left side, all over the mirror. খালি কনসেন্ট্রেশনটা ফিজিক্যাল বডিতে। Now there is another mirror on your top. তোমার সামনে, তোমার পেছনে, তোমার ডান দিকে, তোমার বাঁ দিকে এবং তোমার মাথার উপর 4 থেকে মিরর। Absolute concentration on your physical body. Feel the staticness of your physical body. একটা গাছ যেমন শক্তভাবে মাটির সাথে লেগে থাকে, তুমি এই চেয়ারে শক্তভাবে বসে রয়েছো। তুমি হাত পা নাড়াতে পারছো না, চোখ খুলছো না। Absolute relax. Feel it. Feel this steadiness. Feel this staticness. From your physical body, gradually shift your attention towards your breath. তুমি ফিল করো দুটো নাক থেকে তুমি দম নিচ্ছ সেই বৃত্ত ট্রাভেল করে তোমার আইব্রো সেন্টারে মাঝখানে আসছে, আবার আইব্রো সেন্টার থেকে তোমার রাইট এবং লেফট নাস্টাল দিয়ে বৃত্তটা বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছে, একটা ট্রায়াঙ্গেল তৈরি হচ্ছে। ফিল ইট। It is not only breath, it is energy also. Feel the energy. আমরা শুরু করতে যাচ্ছি মেডিটেশন প্র্যাকটিস, চিদাকাশ ধারণা। চোখ খুলবেন না, হাত পা নাড়াবেন না। আমরা জার্নি করছি এক অদ্ভুত অনুভূতির মধ্যে। আমরা আমাদের নিজেদের মন দেখতে পাবো, নিজের মনের ইমোশন বুঝতে পারবো। ইটস রেডি ফর দ্যাট। চোখ বন্ধ করে চোখের সামনে একটা কালো পর্দা ভিজুয়ালাইজ করুন। ঠিক চোখের সামনে একটা কালো পর্দা ভিজুয়ালাইজ করুন, আর ডার্ক কার্টেন in front of your eyes. Gradually try to lengthen the length of the curtain. তোমার মুখের থেকেও পর্দাটা বড় হয়ে গেছে, ফিল করো। নাও ফিল করো পর্দাটা আস্তে আস্তে তোমার মাথার মধ্যে ঢুকে গেছে। তোমার স্কালের টপটা কালো পর্দাটা ঢেকে দিয়েছি। তোমার স্কালের চারপাশটা কালো পর্দাটা ঢেকে দিয়েছি। ইটস অ্যাবসলিউটলি ডার্ক। এতটা অন্ধকার তোমার মাথার ভেতরটা, এটাকে একটা অন্ধকার গুহ মনে হচ্ছে, আর কেভ, ডার্ক কেভ। গ্র্যাজুয়ালি তুমি সেই কেভের মধ্যে ঢুকছো। তুমি ঢুকে দাঁড়িয়ে রয়েছো কেভের মধ্যে, ফিল করো। কনসেন্ট্রেশনটা তোমার মাথা থেকে তোমার সামনের কালো পর্দাতে নিয়ে এসো। তোমার সেন্সরি ফিলিংস গুলো কালো পর্দাতে রিফ্লেক্ট করো। ইউর স্মেল, যদি কোনো স্মেল পাও সেটাকে তোমার সামনের কালো পর্দাটায় রিফ্লেক্ট করো। Light, any light, color, তোমার চোখের সামনের কালো পর্দাটায় ভিজুয়ালাইজ রেড, লাল রংটা দেখার চেষ্টা করো। রেড ইজ দ্য সিম্বল অফ এনার্জি। তোমার চোখের সামনের পর্দায় অরেঞ্জ কালারটা দেখার চেষ্টা করো। অরেঞ্জ ইজ দ্য সিম্বল অফ ক্রিয়েটিভিটি। তোমার চোখের সামনের পর্দায় ইয়েলো কালারটা দেখার চেষ্টা করো। ইয়েলো ইজ দ্য সিম্বল অফ সেলফ এস্টিম। তোমার চোখের সামনের পর্দায় গ্রিন দেখার চেষ্টা করো। Cream is the universal love. তোমার চোখের সামনের পর্দায় নীল রং দেখার চেষ্টা করো। ব্লু is the wisdom. তোমার চোখের সামনের পর্দায় ইন্ডিগো কালার দেখার চেষ্টা করো। is a 70% নীল, 30% red. Energy and peace of mind. Now visualize violet color. Is a 50% energy, red, 50% peace of mind, need. চোখ বন্ধ করে তোমার চোখের সামনের পর্দায় তোমার ইমোশনগুলো দেখার চেষ্টা করো। Now how you are feeling? তুমি এখন কি ফিল করছো? Are you feel sad? Are you feel happy? Are you feel energetic? Exact তোমার ইমোশনাল ফিলিংসটা চোখ বন্ধ করে বোঝার চেষ্টা করো। চোখে চোখে জল আসে আসতে দাও। যদি মুখে হাসি আসে আসতে দাও। Don't suppress it. Observe your emotion. Express your emotion on the dark curtain in front of you. Visualize a candle light. একটা মোমবাতির আলোকে তোমার চোখের সামনে ভিজুয়ালাইজ করো। Visualize an Egyptian pyramid. একটা ইজিপশিয়ান পিরামিডকে চোখের সামনে ভিজুয়ালাইজ করো। চোখ খুলবে না, আমরা প্র্যাকটিসের শেষের দিকে আছি। চোখ বন্ধ রেখে ঘরের মধ্যে কিছু আওয়াজ হচ্ছে, সেই আওয়াজগুলো শোনার চেষ্টা করো। চোখ বন্ধ রেখে হাতটা নমস্কার মুদ্রা নিয়ে এসো। চোখ বন্ধ রাখবে, আমার সাথে শান্তি মন্ত্র পাঠ করবে। প্রথমে আমি করব, তারপর তোমরা করবে। असतो मा सद्गमयं तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमयं Turma amritam gamayam Om Shanti 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 He চোখ খুলবে না, হাতটা জোরে ধসো, হিট জেনারেট করো, হাতটা অনেক গরম হয়ে গেলে চোখে দিয়ে দেবে, চোখ খুলবে না। ওয়ান টাইম মোর, আবার করো, হাতটা জোরে ঘষো, হিট জেনারেট হলে চোখে দিয়ে দাও। আস্তে আস্তে দুটো হাত চোখের সামনে রাখো, মনটাকে আস্তে আস্তে বাইরে নিয়ে এসো। আমি 10 থেকে 1 গুনবো, মনটাকে বাইরে নিয়ে এসো। 10, 9, মনটাকে একটু বাইরে নিয়ে এসো, চোখ খুলবে না। 8, চোখ খুলবে না। 7, মনটাকে আরেকটু বাইরে নিয়ে এসো। 6, চোখ খুলো না, মনটাকে আরেকটু বাইরে নিয়ে এসো। 5, মনটাকে আরেকটু বাইরে নিয়ে এসো। 4, হ্যাভ এ বিউটিফুল স্মাইল অন ইউর ফেস। 3, মনটাকে প্রিপেয়ার করো খোলার জন্য। 2, with a beautiful smile open your eyes. Short meditation is over. একটু টাইম লাগবে, ঠিক আছে, আমরা একটু ইন্টারনাল চলে গেছিলাম, তো চোখ খুলে একটু টাইম লাগবে, আস্তে আস্তে গ্র্যাজুয়ালি আস্তে আস্তে ফিরে এসে নিজের জায়গায়। Hopefully you all enjoy.
এবার ঘুরিয়ে দিই।
কখন ডিপলি ঘুমিয়ে পড়েছিলাম আমি জানি না। So that's the beauty. 15 minutes back we all were outward. আমাদের মন খুব চঞ্চল, নানান বিভিন্ন কিছু ভাবছি। You all have experienced the shift in 15 minutes. The subtle command. We always go deep inside. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a sea? On the surface, there are so many rough tides, but go deep, deeper, reach to the deepest point, you'll see there's an absolutely calm. And that part, we all have within us. And that is the real essence of our existence. In this chaotic environment, having so many thoughts of the kidney, so many things, that is sad, খাবার মাঝখানে ডেকে দিল, খাচ্ছি না thing. Somebody left the plate, ran away. So many things are going on. BAIDYA, Tara, so these are all happening at the surface level of your mind. But within us, in the deeper inside, there was a beautiful, calm, quiet, contented space, which often we miss because of our mundane day-to-day monkey life. So once in a while, 10-15 minutes in a day, even if you can do 2 times in a day, if you practice this thing, then suddenly all the stress, tension, anxiety, emotional adjustment, so many things which are bound to come in day-to-day activity, that gets the opportunity to get worst off from our system. It is good to practice. It is beneficial to practice. It does not need any instrument. Anywhere, sitting at your home, you can practice. But you need to have a right attitude toward it. This is my humble request to all of you. কিছুদিন আগে আমাদের কিছু কেম্পিদের নিয়ে আমি একটা ট্রান্সেন্ডেন্টাল মেডিটেশনের সেশন করেছি। I don't know whether they are practicing it or not. Please, this is my humble request to all of you, তোমরা সবাই এটা প্র্যাকটিস করো and get the real benefit out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, আজকে আমাদের মধ্যে একজন আছে, our dear friend Anilabu. So Anilabu is a journalist by profession. He's a writer, he's a creator, he has made some fantastic movies. Bala bole ekta recent movie hoyeche, entire movie was directed and written and scripted by Anil Babu. I'm thankful Anil Babu is here and request Anil Babu to please be on the stage. You have seen the whole program and please speak something about it. After that, we'll break, but before that I think Arnav, আমাদের কি রিসাইটেশন বা কিছু আছে মানে some of the stuffs you normally do it. Okay, so Anil Babu, over to you.
এটা একদম জসপ্রীত বুমরার মতন কিছু হলো আর কি, স্লোয়ার ইও কারকে। তো একদম প্রিপেয়ার ছিলাম, আমি প্রতিমদার সঙ্গে দেখা করতে এসেছিলাম। ইনফ্যাক্ট তার আগে জানতাম এই প্রোগ্রামটা হচ্ছে, কিন্তু আমি জানি যে প্রতিমদার এই যে কাজগুলো প্রতিমদার শুধুমাত্র চিকিৎসা নয়, মেডিকেশন নয়, তার বাইরেও যেটা হোলিস্টিক একটা অ্যাপ্রোচ রয়েছে সবটা মিলিয়ে, সেটা প্রতিমদা দীর্ঘদিন ধরে করে এসেছেন। এবং আমি একটা পডকাস্ট, আমি একটা নতুন পডকাস্ট চ্যানেল চালু করেছি, তার নাম হচ্ছে বাংলা, যাই আপনারা কজন দেখতেন। প্রতিমদার একটা ইন্টারভিউ করেছিলাম এবং আমি এই মানুষটাকে আরও কাছ থেকে জানতে পেরেছি সেখানে। এবং আমার মনে হয়েছে যে শুধু চিকিৎসা নয়, যে একটু আগে শুভ যেটা করলেন আর কি, সেটাও যে এই যে অ্যাপ্রোচটা, এটাই বোধ হয় মানুষের ভালো থাকার একটা বড় একটা সম্পদ। এবং আমি বিশ্বাস করি যে এখানে যারা নেফ্রোকেয়ার, আমি নিজে আমার সঙ্গে লাস্ট 2 বছর ধরে প্রদীপদার সম্পর্ক, একটা পেশেন্ট আমার এক দাদার চিকিৎসার জন্য প্রদীপদার কাছে আসা, তারপর থেকে সেটা একটা ব্যক্তিগত সম্পর্কে জায়গায় গিয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে, একটা বন্ধুত্ব সম্পর্কের জায়গায় গিয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে। এবং আমি বিশ্বাস করি যে কাজটা উনি করছেন, আমাদের দীর্ঘদিন দিনের পর দিন আমাদের প্রত্যেকেরই স্ট্রেস বেড়েছে, অনেক রকম সমস্যা বাড়ছে এবং গোটা পৃথিবী জুড়ে যেটা চলছে, প্রত্যেকদিন আমাদের আরো খারাপের দিকেই যাচ্ছি। আমরা একটা কোভিড পেরিয়ে এসেছি, আমরা এত ক্রাইসিস পেরিয়ে এসেছি, তারপর আমরা শিখছি না আমরা পৃথিবীটাকে যেভাবে আমরা ব্যবহার করছি, যেভাবে পৃথিবীটার ক্ষতি করছি, তত আরো খারাপ দিন বোধহয় আসছে। তার মধ্যে কিছু মানুষ এই যে ভালো থাকার কাজগুলো আমাদের শিখিয়ে যাচ্ছেন। এবং শুধুমাত্র ওষুধ, আমি যেটা বলছি বারবার করে, শুধুমাত্র ওষুধ, ট্রিটমেন্ট, তার বাইরে ট্রিটমেন্ট, অসুখটা হওয়ার পর ট্রিটমেন্ট শুরু হওয়া, তার আগেও যে উদ্যোগটা আপনারা নিচ্ছেন এবং নেফ্রোকেয়ার থেকে নেওয়া হচ্ছে, সেটা আমার মনে হয় এটা প্রত্যেকেই যদি আমরা ভাবতে আরম্ভ করি, তার আমার মনে হয় সামনে আগামী দিনে আমরা ভালো থাকবো। আমি রিসেন্টলি একটা পডকাস্টের কথা বলছিলাম, রিসেন্টলি ডক্টর সুকুমার মুখার্জির সঙ্গে কথা বলছিলাম। তো উনি একটা জায়গায় বলেছিলেন যে আমার এই লাইফে 90 বছর বয়স, তো উনি বললেন আমার লাইফের দুটো জিনিসই দেখলাম। একটা হচ্ছে আমি যখন বাঁকুড়া মেডিকেল কলেজে যখন আমি ডাক্তারি করতাম, তখন দেখেছি যে তখন ট্রিটমেন্টের কি ট্রিটমেন্ট হবে আমরা জানতাম না, আর এখন দেখি যে ওভার ট্রিটমেন্ট। এই দুটো ফেজের মধ্যে কোনটা রাইট ট্রিটমেন্ট সেটা এখন বুঝতে পারলাম না। আমার মনে হয় আমাদের সবাই বোধহয় এই ক্রাইসিসটার মধ্যে দিয়েই চলছি। তো সেখানে যদি এই যে খোঁজগুলো, আমি বলবো এটাকে এই যে এইমাত্র যে সেশনটা হলো, সেটাই ওই একটা সার্চটাই হলো, এই যে আমরা প্রত্যেকদিন যেটা আমাদের নিজেদের মধ্যে যেটা খোঁজটা চলে, যে সার্চটা চলে, সেটাই বোধহয় আমরা করে যাচ্ছি। এখানে এত মানুষকে নিয়ে কাজ ওনার হাওড়াতে, বারাসাতে, মদনগ্রামে, সব জায়গা থেকে, যেটা উনি যে একটা বড় ছাতাটা বিস্তার করছেন প্রতিমদা, তার জন্য প্রতিমদা থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ সবার জন্য, সবার তরফ থেকে থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you so much everyone to be over here. Thank you so much Anil Babuda ekhane ashar jonno, and thank you so much to all the doctors to be here at the World Kidney Day. And today there is a performance session as well, যেখানে আমরা সবাই একত্রিত হয়েছি, এক ছাদের নিচে আছি, and we are celebrating that this amazing situation today, this amazing World Kidney Day over here, and we are taking care of ourselves more and more. We are learning more and more, especially আমাদের সুব্রতদা আজকে খুব সুন্দর একটা মেডিটেশন সেশন দিয়ে বোঝালো যে আমরা নিজেদের আরো কত ভালোভাবে খেয়াল রাখতে পারি, and it's inner and combination with always the soul and body purpose that solves the problem of the daily life. So today we are going to solve that problem, because with a lot of care what we need is entertainment, and for that reason we are here today. And today, for the entertainment purpose, I would like to call upon stage first of all Tawsed Hussain, who is a poet. He writes his poetries by himself.